Hello, folks. Alrighty, so after quite a bit of time, because I've been busy and time was a problem, whenever I had free time, I was working on school stuff or working on editing existing YouTube stuff or filming more YouTube stuff with Joey. That is to say, playing every Kingdom Hearts game that needed to be played. Since I was busy doing all of those things, streaming fell by the wayside for a while. But we're finally going to get back in here with the hat in time, because now Joey and I are all finished with Kingdom Hearts. Forever. We're free. We're not done forever. I'm going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts a lot more, but we're done filming Kingdom Hearts for the foreseeable future, if not forever. With that in mind, though I have beaten Kingdom Hearts 3, please, if you've beaten it, keep it to yourself. No Kingdom Hearts spoilers during this stream, with the exception, as per usual, being things that have already occurred in our playthroughs of the game, as has been released on the channel. Though preferably, let's just not talk about Kingdom Hearts at all. Let's just do anything else. Let's talk about anything other than that. That would be pleasant. You ladies and gentlemen, give me just a moment. I'm just getting a few more things set up. Won't take very long. But since I haven't really done a stream, that's not true. I did the one Blackout stream since moving to a new location. There are just a handful of technical hiccups that still require such as that. A few technical things that require attention, but don't worry, we'll be getting started shortly. How's everybody doing? This also gives people, a little bit of time to, arrive, come in here, and then we'll get started momentarily. No Omnax Blade. This is not Tekken music. I hope that was a joke. Video City 1, you say that, wait until Kingdom Hearts 4.9, a final beginning. Nah, doesn't matter what they put out. I think we're probably done. We were gonna be done with filming Kingdom Hearts anyway. We got the job done. Doesn't matter what comes out now. We're finished. We have conquered the beast. It's all over for us now. Camille, but hey, anybody else who else is excited for the new Pokemon games? We will be talking about those Pokemon games in just a little bit because, I'm curious. Oh god, it's real. Somebody in chat said, but what about the Kingdom Hearts 3 story DLC that got announced today? And I said, that's not true. That's a joke. So I went to go and look. Joshua, come over here for just a second. You should. When specifically Nomura was asked about the following plot point from Kingdom Hearts 3, and the answer was will be explained in the DLC. Don't read it out loud. Just read it with your eyes. Game's super finished. Game is super duper finished. There's no cut content. Nobody dare accuse them of not finishing Kingdom Hearts 3. Thank you, Joshua. That was sarcasm. Oh, I'm sure they knew. I'm sure they knew. How does audio sound, folks, with Persona 5 Dancing Star Night blasting in the background? Can you still hear me? Can you still see me? All of that wonderful stuff. Video City 1, you having a good day, Jacob? I'm having an okay day. Haven't gotten quite as much done today as I would have liked due to extenuating circumstances that also involved pushing the stream back by an hour, but whatever. Genevieve Rogers, will you play the Resident Evil 2 remake? Probably not. Horror is not really my thing, nor is survival horror. Got nothing against it, despite the fact that PT is over here in my in my little list here. I just downloaded it, so I had it. I have nothing against horror. I'm not too spooked by it. just not my thing. Not for me. Don't really super enjoy it. I don't get my kicks from being scared, personally. More power to you if you're into that sort of thing. Not for me. So no, do not anticipate any more Resident Evil 2. While I know that game is great, and I have a decent amount of respect for, certain entries in the Resident Evil franchise, don't expect to see me playing them here or on my own time anytime soon. Music is a little loud. Music sounds low compared to you. Audio sounds good for now. Yeah, see, this is why I can't trust you people. I gotta fix it I gotta do it myself. It's fine. Don't worry about it at all. I can do it myself. Hold on. Sorry if when I move the mic and you tap it, it's not good in your guys' ears. If you're wearing headphones, I imagine it's not a very pleasant experience. And I apologize for that. One moment. Soon I will know the truth of the matter. Soon I will know the truth. I could probably go a little bit louder, but unfortunately, as remains the issue with OBS, it just does not. Like, this is as loud as I can get it, pretty much. But I'm also going to be talking more directly into the microphone. See, there we go. Yeah, sounds a bit better now that I'm talking right into the microphone. We will probably have to adjust the audio anyway once we get into the game. Something weird is going on with OBS, and I don't know what it is, what the problem is, but I have consistently found that even when within OBS, the audio is peaking and going into the red, just the signal that goes through to YouTube is not nearly loud enough. I don't know why, so I don't know what the problem is. Whatever. But we can, like I said, we can do more fine-tuned audio adjustments once we're actually in here in a second. I didn't realize the less recognizable part of the song, says Omnax Blade. It also really sounds like Tekken music, and you put it on game music before the stream. Right, but typically if I'm piping audio directly into the feed, it's when I have that little, beginning of the stream screen up. That was just the Persona 5 Dancing All Night theme that was free with PlayStation Plus if you have it. I'm pretty sure it's still available if you're into Persona music. Thank you, Linus, for the donation. I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. You're always here. I appreciate the what's the word I'm looking for here? The customer loyalty. I don't know. You always make time to show up for these, and I don't know how. It's very impressive. I guess our schedules must sync up somehow that I don't know about. Or you're spying on me. But it's impossible to say for sure. Not without further investigation. Piprod01, when KH3 videos? After other videos. Birth by Sleep is still releasing. Until Birth by Sleep, we've still got other stuff to worry about. I mean, it's not. We have Birth by Sleep, and then after that, gotta watch the Days movie, gotta watch the Coded movie, gotta play Dream Drop Distance, gotta play 0.2, A Fragmentary Passage, Final Chapter Prologue, 2.8, Kingdom Hearts, Aqua's Bizarre Adventure. All of that stuff is filmed. We filmed everything. We finished filming Kingdom Hearts 3 this past weekend. But everything still has to be released, and in addition to everything being released, everything has to be edited. These things all take time. So, Birth by Sleep will be back as soon as it can be back, but just right now I have other projects that have to take priority over that. Mostly not YouTube stuff, mostly personal and academic projects. Though there are a couple of... I do want to make some more... I didn't really make anything substantial for the main channel last year, like at all, so I really need to get back on that and make some good stuff for the main channel, which will hopefully help to push the second channel a little bit more. which will mean more viewership coming here, more of you guys hanging out here in these streams on chat, more people watching these videos together, which justifies more content on this channel too. So it's cyclical, but playthrough channels hard to grab an audience from outside, whereas I make a couple of decent videos over on that main channel that maybe get picked up and people see. Easier to direct some traffic over this way. It's easier to grow one channel versus the other, and then from that one channel to direct people over. But I'm not just delaying Birth by Sleep arbitrarily because I don't feel like working on it. It's just I'm too slammed with other stuff right now. I'm taking a break to do this at the moment. Birth by Sleep is mostly edited at this point anyway. It's just a situation where I have to create titles, I have to create thumbnails, I have to create descriptions, and the last handful of episodes still have to be uploaded and, put on YouTube, checked for copyright, and in some cases that requires encountering some kind of copyright issue, adjusting it, re-uploading it. I've already had to do that a couple of times for the, if you've been watching the Birth by Sleep playthrough, you know that during the finale episodes of Terra and Vent's campaigns, I implemented, instead of using their character themes, I put kind of a joke song in. I used Terra's theme from Final Fantasy VI for Terra, and I used Night of the Wind from Sonic and the Black Knight for Ven. I had originally wanted to use an excerpt of It's Raining Men for Aqua's, but unfortunately YouTube stopped me. You can see the clip over on my Twitter feed. I uploaded it there just for people to look at, but it will not be featured in the final upload of the episode. So that's going to be. I mean, I have to find another joke song for Aqua. I have a couple of ideas, but still got to be sorted out. I am going to go ahead and turn down the game's audio very slightly. Let's see how that sounds. Hello, it's me. I'm Jacob. I'm talking for the purposes of listening to myself talk to see how I sound in terms of volume. Turn the game down a tiny bit more. Obviously, the main menu is pretty loud, but a little bit more couldn't hurt. And I think with that, we'll probably be good to go. Now, if there's some sloppy gameplay here today, I apologize in advance. I obviously haven't played this game recently. When I started streaming this game, it was very shortly after I had 100%ed the entire game, right? So I was pretty plugged in at that point, knew what I was doing, was pretty competent. Now, not so much. I fiddled around with it for like 15 minutes a couple of days ago, partially to get some footage that I needed, partially for the purposes of being ready for today, though the readiness is obviously limited, so I apologize if you see some low-tier Hat in Time play today. Nope, hold on. I gotta swap my audio feed around now. Hold on one second. Only so many headphones. They're all going to... They can't all go to everywhere at once. Alright, here we go. No, hold on. Chris Films asks, after college, is it plausible for you to do YouTube full-time? No. I do not make enough doing this to support myself. I mean, I suppose I could if I here's the thing, if I put more work into it and I made like a Patreon or whatever, I'm sure that I could, the money, I could do it professionally if I really wanted to, but I have other things that I'm interested in doing. I imagine this will continue to be a hobby. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Semi-professional, I guess. Side gig, hobby. I don't know. I don't know what you would want to call it. Man, my timing's completely off. I can't even do the... There we go. The little skill hop. Hold on. There we go. Now I'm getting it again. Alrighty. So, for those who don't remember, last time around, we were participating in the Battle of the Birds. DJ Grooves and the conductor were competing to, are directing competing films trying to win the annual Bird Movie Award. And we helped them both out a little bit. And we could spend some pawns to move on here. We don't have enough for DJ Grooves' level at the moment. And while we do have enough for the conductor's level at the moment, our little currency there down in the corner, what we don't have is the item that we would actually need to complete that 30 pawn level. So I'm afraid there's not much more we can do here in Deadbird Studio. So we must go elsewhere. We must go elsewhere for employment and money, unless we just go grind out money in those levels, which we could do, but no need for that when we've unlocked a totally new area. Obviously, we were over here before. This is Hat Kid's room, as we discovered on the last stream. Not discovered because I already knew about it because I've beaten this game before. But we got Hat Kid's diary down here. Day 9. You know, there's a lot of creepy crow type things getting on this train too. Actually, everyone getting on is acting real funny, even the owls. And they're harmless, nerdy guys. I feel like something bad might happen since it feels so freaky, but the conductor is definitely, how should I put this? Loud? Pushy? How about persuasive? Anyway, I gotta go catch a train. Pretty sure we read that last time, but it's fine. I'm reminding myself of that journal because you can't read older entries in it, and she updates it basically every level that you do. But yeah, here we go. A closet. You only really wear one outfit, so there's plenty of room for skeletons. Very appropriate for where we're about to go next. Oh, whoopee. We don't need that right now. Thank you, though. Subcon Forest. Contractual obligations. Timepiece detected. Chapter Subcon Forest. Mission. Recover the fallen timepiece. Term of the day. Requiem. Atmosphere. Tense. So, as we talked about last time, this game has some definite Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door influences in games like it, and we generally already talked about kind of the tone shift from very direct Super Mario Sunshine homage with Mafia Town, and into something that feels pretty different from that with Deadbird Studio. Got some stealth segments. Got kind of the parade stuff going on. Feels really different. Still a platformer, obviously, but a different game with a different tone and a different location. Now we're somewhere else entirely. What do we got here? Got any other? I do. These are fine for now. Oh yeah, I can change my color scheme. Got some other costumes. Ooh, look at me, I'm blending in. They'll never see me. Oh. Well, gee whiz, I guess I'll just move on then. Hey, come back, friendo. I'll switch back to the regular color. Come back, friend. I want to talk to you. Huh? Oh, a little sneak. Let me out of here. I'm gonna beat my way out of this and you can't stop me. I have a very strong umbrella. What's that sound? I'm skeptical of this. Contract, clean out Subcon well. Find Subcon Village. Murder the spirits. Clean the Subcon well. Okay, interesting. Following parts of the forest will be available, Act 1 and Act 2. I'll be keeping the following hostage, your soul, but keep anything you find on the way. Sounds reasonable.
That seals the deal. We're in business. Let me just scrub this real quick.
Oh dear, I need that. You feel exceedingly empty inside.
Whoops. Guess this soul belongs to me now. Don't worry though. If you finish your chores quickly, you'll have your soul back real soon. And don't you dare forget our little contract. I've put in your start menus that will never leave your sight.
Oh dear. Oh dear, dear, dear. Whatever shall we do? Snatcher, snatch our soul. And now we're on the clock. Literally. Anyway, yeah. So this level is pretty neat. Oh, hello there. Are you lost too? I've been lost for as long as I can remember.
Found your way here already?
That's pretty grim.
Badges are totally in right now. That's what I've been told to say. So make a purchase, please.
What do we got here? Oh, equip one more badge. I definitely want that, but that's a bit pricey. Well, these are all a bit pricey. I think I'll have to come back some other time, buddy. Sorry. So right now, I believe, yeah, fire's going to stop us from exploring the rest of this space. However, while we could obviously continue at the regular level, there is basically an entire other level right here behind us. I mean, there is a lot of wood out behind us, but we can't access any of it until later acts. What I am referring to...
From on top of that big tree is pretty good.
Yeah, I bet it is, too. If I recall correctly, this took me quite a bit of time to complete when I was playing the game originally, and since I am now worse at the game than I was then. Because when I was originally doing this level, you know, I'd been playing the game for hours. I had just recently started it. Whereas now I'm coming back to this after months and barely putting any time into it, so we will see how this goes, but I'm going to give it my shot getting to the top of this big tree. Oh crap. I need to trust... I forget to trust the springboards. They usually send you where you need to go. That's step one. So anyway, yeah. Main thing that I talked about on Twitter said we would talk about, and I saw people asking about in the chat, was Pokemon. I'm probably not going to be glancing at the chat too much while I'm doing this, because this does require, you know, a little bit of attention and focus. But yeah, so new Pokemon, Sword and Shield, and it's set in not England, kind of similarly to how X and Y was set in not France.
Far to go, kid.
Got two European adventures in a row. I guess not in a row. I keep forgetting that Sun and Moon exist. Not because they're forgettable or anything. I just, like, I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't call them forgettable or not forgettable since I haven't played them. The only Pokemon game that I ever played extensively was Silver back in the day, and though I keep up with the series, because I just try to keep up with everything. I bet it would. Guess it doesn't hurt to hit you, though. That's not very painful. So I would expect some kind of reaction. While I have not really played any of the Pokemon games more recently, I do keep up with the series in general, just because of general curiosity and self-loathing. That's a joke. I just mean that in terms of that I keep up with everything and I pollute my brain with way too much information about the entertainment industry, games, movies, television. I know so many things about things that I don't care about. Come on. Okay, that clearly requires a double jump, and I'm keep trying for single, and it's just not gonna fly. That's fine. Hey, see that Kingdom Hearts? Even when you have the rounded Kingdom Hearts 1, I should say. Even when you have the rounded edges, you can still let your character grab onto them. What a novel concept. I love I mean, obviously it's draw distance to control how much the game has to render in at once, but on this level in particular, the draw distance really, boy, does it ever make things spooky and mysterious. It's always nice. An easy way to make a world, especially in a game, feel bigger than it actually is and therefore, you know, make the environment, make it seem more real, right? Because obviously you're never going to be able to create a world that is big enough to, you know, feel like a completed space. Even as something like, you know, Grand Theft Auto 5 has limitations to how big it is that, you know, remind you that it is in fact a video game and not physical reality. One of the best things you can do, in my personal opinion, is create negative space. Not negative space in terms of, like, art and color, but negative space in terms of areas that are within the world and within the player's mind that they cannot access. And that are so far away and so outside the realm of accessibility that they don't realize they can't access them. So it's not like in a game where you get to the end of the world map or whatever, right? And or like you hit a mountain that you just can't climb and you're like, oh, well, I guess this is the end of the world. You want to create stuff where the player never really manages to find the barriers or rub up against them. It just seems like there's more out there. This is something that Metroidvanias do a lot when you're initially going through them, because you just feel that there is space that you know, cannot access. Thank you. There's just space that you can't access until you get more abilities and stuff, which is something that gives Kingdom Hearts 1 part of the sensation that it has, since Kingdom Hearts 1 is... I mean, I hesitate to call it a Metroidvania, but since it is so populated with spaces that you can't access early on, that you need to come back for with new abilities, new spells, new items, or just ingenuity, that it creates the impression of being a much larger setting than it actually is. There's even parts in Kingdom Hearts 1 where they intentionally fake you out. Like, there is a chest that you can see in a puzzle room that is completely impossible to access. People have wall hacks to it, and it's empty. You can't even open it. It's just there to make you think maybe there's another solution to this puzzle or another way to access this room that I don't know about. It just exists to make the world feel bigger than what you can see and touch and feel. But anyway, after I explain that, well, after this, I'll talk some more about the
giving
Pokemon.
bodies to any upset spirits, kid. The soft part of the fruit is sometimes called the flesh.
Is it? This eyeball is watching these fruits very carefully.
Giving bodies to any upset spirits, kid.
What do you mean by an upset spirit? Uh-oh. Big explode.
Sure has its eye on something, huh?
I think so.
The soft part of the fruit.
Here. Oh, you're angry too, I guess. You can go over there and have fun by yourself. Oh no. He has no more reason to exist. Nothing to look at. Dweller mask yarn. This is some spooky yarn. You've got enough yarn to stitch it. Well, that's good. Let's probably go ahead and make that. Except that, oh yeah, the first one is actually kind of felt, isn't it? Some of the later Dweller masks are not things that you could knit, but whatever. New hat stitched, ready for use. This is some spooky yarn. Press L2 to see the world through a Dweller's eyes. Very spooky. This hat's utility will not reveal itself for a little while. Anyway, but yeah, Pokemon. I'm, excited. Like I said, I haven't really played a Pokemon game in quite some time. I just generally keep up with the series out of an overall interest in the industry and in the franchise and in gaming in general. But who knows? Maybe I'll check this one out. It remains to be seen. The one thing that I'm really curious about is how much they are going to shake up and change the format as they're moving on to a new entry. I get the feeling, not very much. I get the feeling that what we can expect from this, from what little footage we saw, and obviously I could be wrong about this, but I get the distinct sense that this is going to be fairly similar structurally to all of the games that have come before it, just gussied up with a little bit more of a cinematic presentation, as you see with that cutscene where the kid's walking into the soccer pitch, the football stadium, which clearly is obviously some kind of Pokemon battle arena, but come on, it's set in not England. We all know what it really is. Oh, hold on. Somebody wants... Oh, I'm at the threshold of the town, of course. This is where some certain... Oh, I found the village. This is where certain Paper Mario vibes really start to take off, or specifically Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door vibes. The Snatcher's deal of showing up and going... Oh, hold on. Like this.
Oh, wait. It's you.
I love the after the intimidating thing happens once that his theme music shifts.
I was kind of expecting a new victim to step in my traps. I've already taken your soul and everything. Have you even completed your contractual obligations yet?
I just got started. I'm working on
Take
it.
it personal, kid, but stay clear of my traps. There's only so many times my voice can handle yelling like that. You're taking the experience away from other people.
I apologize, Snatcher.
But since you did step in my trap, I might as well extend our business endeavors.
Sure. Do I get paid more?
Fool! You stepped into my forest, and now you must pay the price. Pick your poison. Which burden do you want to carry for the rest of your life?
What do we got here? Find the manor, enter the manor, find out what's in the attic. What else we got? Don't climb on it, Hat Kid. Deliver packages to 10 of my minions. Nah, what do we got here? Defeat the boss. Let's start with something easy, right? Let's start with something easy. This all sounds good to me.
Not a bad choice. This one should be a breeze. You're leaving all the difficult contracts for the newbies, though, which is really rude when you think about it.
Whatever you say.
Whatever. I'm off. Smell you later.
The secret is I'll have to fulfill all those contracts anyway, because I am the only newbie. Aww. Maybe Snatcher is just lonely. Or maybe he's just a massive jerk. Anyway. Hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, and we're back. Just some business in the real world that had to be taken care of real quickly. Alright, I don't want to kill that spider. That spider is for a puzzle. Or, not this puzzle, a platforming segment, I should say. Let's go check out the town. Speaking of towns, let's actually try and talk about Pokemon since I keep getting distracted from that. Are you an angry spirit? You're an angry spirit. Good job. Go over there. Spirits. Spirits. Angry spirits. Oh, look, it's a picture of the mask salesman. Not the badge salesman. The badge seller. They look great. It's a really good image. The thing that I think interests me the most about moving to console is obviously the amount of the scale of the world can increase, hopefully, but moving to console doesn't necessarily impact the overall structure of a Pokemon game too harshly. What I really wonder is how much they're going to take this as an opportunity to overhaul their systems. It's entirely possible that they won't touch a thing, because especially now that they've just done Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, I think people will be a lot more forgiving about just having a normal game. Like, I think you know, people were like, oh, please mix up the formula, give us something a bit more, you know, change it up a bit, give us something a bit different. But I think now that we've just had the Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee situation, I think a lot of people are of the mindset of, please just give us a normal game. So, maybe that's all people are really going to expect from them or want from them. We'll have to find out. But the main thing that's interesting to me, as I was talking about a second ago, is the scale of the world. That's one of the big things that I foresee, you know, being adjusted, being really changed up from previous entries in the series. And I do wonder how that's going to affect the overall flow of the game. More gyms, more Pokemon, more just general space to walk through. How plot-heavy is this one going to be? Obviously, previous Pokemon console entries, such as Coliseum and stuff like that, have generally slightly more structured plots than your typical Pokemon game. But then even Sun and Moon has a bit more of a plot than a lot of the competition. Oh, hello.
Why, hello there! You didn't forget about me, did ya?
Not at all.
Don't tell me you forgot about me.
Nope.
What's up? You working on any contractual obligations lately? You better be. Remember our little deal?
I remember you have my soul.
Check it out! Those incredibly annoying fire spirits are sitting right there, in the middle of my village.
They look kind of like the new Firestarter Pokemon.
Their little dances creating these incredibly annoying barriers that stop me from getting to parts of my forest. It's almost like they're trying to put an end to me.
I do not care for those 3 new starter Pokemon, by the way. Honestly, when they showed them, my first thought was they're all palette swaps of each other. I mean, I know they're not literally, but they were very similar in terms of their aesthetic design.
Dispose of them. I don't care how you do it, as long as they suffer for entering my domain. Anyways, back to work, trooper. This isn't a vacation, and I'm getting impatient.
The Snatcher's appearances are almost directly a ripoff. I mean, I don't know. They're not a ripoff. They're a reference. They're an homage. They are a tribute to a certain element of Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. The black boxes in that game. It's extremely similar, except the black boxes weren't quite characters in the way that Snatcher is. What's all this glowing about?
These dwellers are so hard to talk to.
I want the contents of that house. Angry spirits? Any angry spirits around here? Hello, you're an angry
You can
spirit.
break the ice with them for us.
Uh-oh. Stuff right there. That's fine. I just need to get in the building.
Hard to talk
All taken care of. Now, let's see what's going on over here.
to. We want to die. Yay!
Oh dear.
We want to burn bright and then burn out. Become a cloud of smoke.
Oh my.
Our bonfire needs more fuel. Only the finest paintings will do. Can you help us?
Hypothetically.
You'll come with me.
This game is great.
More.
Boy, oh boy.
We want to.
Yeah, they all say the same thing. Just wanted to check. Oh boy. This game is, this is a bit dark in spots. Just pretty villainous things to get home as that kid. But she's gotta get home. Who can really blame her? I'm trying. I'm trying my best. Never mind. There's an easier way to get up there. I'm screwing around. I just wonder generally how the structure of a Pokemon game will change when it's blown up to that size, and I would like to hope, and I think that most fans hope, that part of it would be both an expansion to the initial story and then an expansion to what is possible within the post-game, the options, the areas to explore, the just general number of activities to do. Because then you're playing to 2 different bases, right? You're playing to the younger kids who just want to have a slightly more involved experience now. Their tastes have been adjusted a little bit in terms of what you expect from a big major budget video game compared to just, I just got this Pokemon thing on my Game Boy in, 1998 or whatever.
I'll
Pick that
borrow
back
you
up.
real quick.
Dead.
Burn.
And then the other one is appealing more to the base of adult gamers who are now a bit less likely to have the patience for, a really long RPG, but they do want to just be able to sit down and play a Pokemon game and catch Pokemon and be involved in that for a long time, right? So you want something that is a little bit more involving in terms of a plot for people who want that sort of stuff, and then you want something that is a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for, I guess? Something that has more to do from a pick up and play standpoint, right? Has a few more activities to participate in, has more content to be interacted with, has more areas to be explored, more Pokemon to catch, all that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, we don't know. It could turn out that this new Pokemon game really is just kind of a, It could turn out that this whole Pokemon thing, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, is just, you know, Sun and Moon, but with better graphics.
Fire.
Big Dead. And now, the entire map is properly unlocked. Alrighty, cool. Subcon Well is what's next on the contract, but first, let's go pick up the timepiece. And I will be honest,
Break the ice with them for us.
I have been hoping to have a bit more to say about Pokemon, and it is not due to people who were saying this to me on Twitter that I would not have enough material out of that presentation to possibly talk about it at any kind of length during a stream. The actual reason that I can't talk a ton about Pokemon Sword and Shield is because I watched the trailer once this morning. I watched the presentation live, and then after that, I haven't had time today. I've been very busy. I haven't gotten to rewatch it at all, which typically I would watch something like that, you know, 2 or 3 times. So, I'm just not, I'm not super attuned to the trailer's contents. In fact, I'm going to pull it up now and have another look at it. I'm not going to put it up on the stream. I'm going to run it muted and just going to look at the video again to kind of remind myself of what the heck it even looked like. Because, as I said, it's been since like when it first went out this morning that I've seen it. But yeah, so we got 2 now. We got the Subcon Well, which is part of our initial contract, and we've got mail delivery service. Obligation: deliver this really old mail. Term of the day: choir, atmosphere, energetic. Clean the old well. Term of the day: allegero? Is that correct? I'm not sure. Atmosphere: tense. I don't know, man. Oh, you know, here's something that I didn't say before. I like the default designs of both of the lead Pokemon trainers. I'm not sure I like the dude's hat looks kind of silly, but the general like costume design and stuff I like. I like the girl's kind of messenger bag looking thing. That's cool in new Pokemon. We'll do mail delivery service first. That's light and breezy and easy. As I said before, I think that Pokemon team has actually done something pretty clever with this game, which is set themselves up in such a position where all they have to really do is the bare minimum to please fans following Eevee and Pikachu, which a lot of people really like Eevee and Pikachu. Even people who are like, this isn't quite the Pokemon game that I want, are still like, this was fun. I had fun playing this, right? So I'm not so much saying that people are, like, mad at those games or that those games are bad. Simply that they aren't necessarily exactly what people were looking for, even if they did enjoy it. So I think that even if this is just Sun and Moon, there are lots of Pokemon fans who are older, probably either don't have a 3DS anymore or just didn't bother to get Sun and Moon, who are going to be a lot more likely to get this. So all they really need to do... All they really need to do is that bare minimum of being a decent game with nice graphics that you can play on the Switch. And that is going to be enough for a lot of people. So until we see a bit more of it, I am skeptical about the total breadth of its content, but I feel like that's what it really needs to do, is because obviously the idea of how a Pokemon game is supposed to be, how it's supposed to play, is kind of set in people's minds at this point. So I can't help but wonder how much you could change the format of the games before people decided it was too much, right? Before people decided that you have gone too far with the changes. Because the series has essentially functioned in pretty much the same way ever since it launched, 23 years ago now. So, I think really all they can do to this is just make it bigger. And the map that they show of Not England, the Galar region, has me a little bit skeptical of that, because the map that they're showing, obviously, it might not necessarily be the full island. It looks like it might just be the northern half of the island. Maybe you can scroll down past kind of where the clouds cut it off in the image that they show off. But in the image that they show off, there is what appears to be the town that you start out in, some kind of small building in between that there and some wilderness, ruins of some old tower, then Not London, a small town and a major stadium, a port town and a major stadium, some kind of fortress or city, a mansion, a couple of other small structures, and then one big city. And that's, in terms of, like, you go through a lot of small towns, a lot of small settlements, a lot of, little areas in Pokemon games, and that map looks a little bit sparse to me. I don't know. It could be a case of them bumping up, to better graphics, better resolution, and the price suddenly jumped. The budget on producing individual assets and locations suddenly spiked, so they had to make a little bit of a smaller game, to compensate for that. It's possible. I don't know. These are just things that I think in my brain. Ben from Canada says, "Hey, my boy, miserable Jacob. What am I miserable about this time?"
I'm not
I don't know.
heartless. Every so often, I sneak into mailboxes and steal letters, then deliver them to my minions. That way, it's almost like someone cares about them.
I love this game's script.
But our last mailman has gone. Poof. You'll have to do. I've got a gift for the occasion. Although it requires a special kind of hat to use. I hope you've got it.
How you doing there, buddy? I got the mail delivery badge. Upgrades your sprint hat into a mail delivery scooter.
This badge is only a rental. I need it back before you leave. Remember to put it on your sprint hat, or it does absolutely nothing. All of the minions who are awaiting mail will have an icon above them. Once you're done, come back here and clock out. Get it?
I do get it. Speed. Clocks. Go fast. Oh yeah, it's already equipped. Rental. Return after use. See, so you can buy this for yourself. As he says, it turns your sprint hat into a scooter. I always forget the camera, like, inverts itself here. Alright, here we go. Who wants mail? Oh, you want mail, don't you? God, the aiming inverts itself here, and I'm not sure why they decided to do that. It always throws me off. See, look, you guys can see how much I'm freaking out right now trying to control this. Oh god, please stop that. Good lord, please, please, please. I like this segment in terms of the music and the ideas behind the gameplay, but god, this aiming just suddenly, it just decided the up and down's inverted, but not the left and right. It's not great. It's not great at all. You could argue this is one of the weaknesses of this game, that it tries to do one too many things in spots, really mixes up its formula, maybe perhaps a little bit too much. But I don't know. I really like the variety of this game for the most part, especially in terms of its aesthetics and narrative goals on a world by world basis. Though I will admit that certain gameplay aspects don't work quite as intended. It's mostly a solid mix of things that holds up pretty well, I personally find. But perhaps I'm biased. This game just tickles my funny bone and my sensibilities in a very specific way that I typically get since Paper Mario, since the Paper Mario franchise was, as we all know, canceled after the second entry. Alrighty. I have overlooked some recipients of mail.
I hear there's money.
I used money to be making great thinking. I got it. Aha. Hiding, are we? Hiding from my terrible aim, are we? Alright, not too many left now. I don't think I missed anybody up that way, but maybe there's somebody in the trees that I overlooked before. I don't think, yeah, I don't have to go far off the beaten path at this level, I remember. They're mostly all around this area. I don't think I have to go off into other sections of the level to find people for this, so... Though I am obviously missing targets, so... There's one. Almost done. Almost finished. Oh, there we go. Man, I got so many bikes. You just can't stop me. There you are. Huzzah! All done. Now, why is Snatcher giving me these things, huh? Why is Snatcher giving them to me? I get that I essentially stole a timepiece from the conductor at the beginning of the Deadbird Studio stages. For some reason, Snatcher is just paying me. I love the little bike. The Snatcher customized bike. Hold on. There's little faces on it, and the worn down wooden paneling. Big fan. Wee. Let's have a look at chat, because I haven't actually looked at chat much today. So you guys are probably giving me stuff to talk about, and I'm just not seeing it because I'm too busy, you know, playing this video game and giving it my attention, which is not what you're actually supposed to do when you're streaming. It's pretty much the opposite of what you're supposed to do. But it's all that I do. I'm not very good at the streaming thing, guys. Max Blade said, this is a while ago, obviously. I just scrolled way back. I've since watched almost all of Tim Rogers' stuff and fell in love with him since he kept mentioning him, by the way. I'm glad you're enjoying his stuff. Video City 1 said right above him, I guess this is right when Snatcher was introduced or shortly afterward. I love the Aku. Foolish samurai warrior. Wielding a magic sword. People are debating the starters and their appearances. I still think they all look really similar. Obviously, the fire one is the most distinct, and I think the fire one is probably the best in terms of its starter design. But of course, I mean, not the starter design; it's first form design. But also, you've always got evolutions, so you know, whatever. Dean Weiss, I bought all 8 3DS Pokemon games at launch, and the only one I beat is X twice. Allegro, said Omnix Blade. Thank you. My illiteracy strikes again. Ammo said, if Sword and Shield isn't a Dark Souls-esque Pokemon-based action RPG, it's a waste of my time. I concur, personally. Jordan Canberra, in response to Dean saying it's Great Britain, not England, you uncultured scrub. It's because it's no UK, there's no Northern Ireland, and somebody else says Jordan Canberra said, silly Dean, Northern Ireland is paid DLC. Well, knowing Nintendo, it will hopefully be good DLC. I'm just saying, generally speaking, their DLC offerings since they started doing it have been quality. Or at least there's been a lot of bang for the buck in them, right? Like, I mean, the 2 DLC packs for Mario Kart 8 more or less doubled that game's content. Like it or hate it with the Fire Emblem Fates situation, that wound up being an extremely big game by the time that you were done with it and expanded it in all directions. I'm not saying that was necessarily a good business model, because it wasn't. I'm just saying that at least when Nintendo does DLC, it's usually not just like, hey, here's pay me $20 for, a costume or something. What's going on over here, boys?
We want to die.
Oh yeah, you want to die too?
Yay!
Cool.
We want to burn bright. Our bonfire needs.
You want more paintings? I can help you with that. Is that a painting of DJ Grooves or something? What is that a painting of? Uh-oh, I'm about to be snatched. No, stop! I'm trying to escape. Woof. Okay, that was close.
I'll borrow you real quick.
Burn, burn.
Subcon
sure it is. And who's this? Oh, that's one of the sleeping raccoon enemies that you barely even see in this game, and kind of easy to miss, actually. Okay, don't kill me, please, no! Okay, thank you. What do we got? There's something up. I see up. The camera in this game is not always the most cooperative thing in the world. I think maybe I need the grappling hook and that noose to get up. I'm not sure. I'll come back later. As you saw in the art for this,
Objects from other dimensions come into focus.
well, I don't even need those. I have the Dweller Mask. See? Though, of course, the whole idea of the bells is that they last a little bit longer, and you can trigger lots of things with them at the same time instead of being attached to your mask's meter. But the Dweller Mask can be used to buy yourself extra time on these challenges if you screw them up. In we go. Whee! Linus, I saw you commenting on frame drops before, but unfortunately there's nothing I can do about it. Like, my setup is already pretty much... My personal setup is, at this point, optimized. There's not a ton that I can do to really, improve it at this point, which I'm not saying that's your fault, and maybe that my internet is bad. Maybe we're just having bad connectivity with YouTube for whatever reason. But unfortunately, basically everything that can be done on my end to ensure a decent connection has been done. So, sorry about that. I really like this game. I just really love the tone of this game. The depth of field effects that are obviously there in a Silent Hill-esque attempt to, you know, blur out parts of the level that aren't loaded in, but also just really add to the mystique of things when you push into them. Especially in levels like this. I mean, like, look at this, right? Look at this. Look at this, really. Tell me that isn't cool. Lie to me and tell me that that isn't cool. The way that those sparkling crystals come into view as you push into the room. The way it matches up with the tone of the music for this stage. It's fantastic stuff. Dean Wise said, so Jacob, what country has the best food in the world? Well, obviously, the answer is America. Because we've stolen everybody else's food and watered it down for our garbage tastes. Not garbage, but we've homogenized a lot of everybody's food. And then we've exported our homogenized food to everybody else. But in terms of the sheer numbers game, we must have the best food. And then after that, it's probably China, I guess. Numbers are all that matter. Alrighty, so we got a grappling hook now. We need more money. I need to be able to attach more badges, and I also need to be able to get into more levels. I'm not really focused on getting money because for the longest time in this game, like, in my head, money's no longer a problem because I've already bought everything, but of course, this is not my original save file. I'm free! I'm safe! But I'm not rich. Is that not the way? Aha! I did it. Oh, I see now. No, I know. I guess I did that right. I did that correctly, didn't I? Alrighty. We're cool. It's cool. This entire game is so dreamy, which feeds into general theories about this game being some kind of dream that she's having. Because you have little toys in her room that represent characters that she hasn't met yet at the beginning of the game. And obviously just the fact that there's all kinds of, you know, it's just, this is a weird psychedelic world that she's visiting with very different areas that she travels to. You've got, the raccoon enemy that's like, it's a sleeping little monster sleeping with a pillow. It falls down and attacks you when you come close. You have the general absurdity of this kid being on a spaceship that's like the computer's like, we don't even know if home exists, really. It's just a rumor that exists, but she's trying to get back to home. The whole game has a very dreamy and childlike vibe to it. But then this also plays into story elements that clearly they did not get to implement, because if you look at some of the early footage of the game, including the credits sequence of the beta for this game, involved cutting to a snowy town that had a store called like Time's End or World's End or something like that, and you just hear a female voice say, like kind of like a 20-something female voice say, "Thank you again," and she steps out of the store, and it's adult Hat Kid, or 20-something Hat Kid, and the credits for the beta rolled while you just kind of walked around this little snowy town. It was only like 2 streets, but it was there. And then that is spoiler alert, not an aspect of this game. It does not come out. It is cut content. But I mean, this game did well enough. They did DLC for it. They stuck to all their Kickstarter goals, including their DLC promises. Basically, a year after the game came out, they got that stuff out. So, point being, even if it's not a runaway Bloodstained Curse of the Night or Shovel Knight success story, it is a Kickstarter success story. So perhaps we'll see more of this series later, or at least from this studio later. Alright, there's a trophy for doing this sequence perfectly that I don't have, but that's because I only played it once and I never came back to try it again. Oh dear. The idea is to never ever touch the water during this sequence, and it is constantly rising. That's what the trophy's for, at least, but I don't know if I'll be getting that today. We'll see. Perhaps. Like I said, I just never came back and replayed this level, so I got everything out of it the first time. Oh dear, that was optional content. I realize now that... crap. Well, we didn't get that, did we? I was trying to reach for the next grapple point, but I realized that now that I needed to back up and hit that one. Well, my mistake, folks. I guess I'll have to come back and get that trophy another day. Not that I particularly care one way or the other. Oh, is that the ending of things? Never mind. My mistake. I thought I was going to have to get another one to blow another door open, but that was not the case there. Little Big Quebec, I'm happy about earlier news about how they want to make critical mode for KH3. I guess you just showed up. We are not talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 during the stream, trying to keep things safe for anybody who is either A, not completed Kingdom Hearts 3 yet, or B, is watching along with our Let's Play series, so anything that has not happened yet in our playthrough we don't talk about. Obviously, that is not a spoiler. Everything you just said is fine, just they're going to add a critical mode to it, but just a reminder for anybody who may have shown up late, we are not talking about any Kingdom Hearts spoilers that have not happened in episodes of the playthrough that have been uploaded to this channel or the Frustrated Jacob channel thus far. Yeah, I haven't looked at that news yet. I saw somebody mention that and the DLC, and I went and extremely briefly looked at the KH13 news story about it. I glanced at it and saw his statement on what story material would be covered in the DLC, and I just am filled with feelings of hate, but whatever. It's fine. Dean Weiss, remember when Versus 13 theme was sleep and dreams? Rip in peace. Oh well, it's no big deal. Hey, I forgot to read the journal after we went and talked to... Crap, I'm an idiot. She has good stuff to say about Snatcher. I should have gone back after the first level. I thought I saw some weird tower poking out from between the trees in that gross swamp, but turns out it's a big old well. The Snatcher told me so. First, I thought he was just being nice, telling me neat stuff to look for, but then he told me to have to go down there where it's dark and smelly. Shouldn't grown-ups usually be keeping kids out of wells or something? Yeah, if we go over to here... Up here we've got a mobile of characters from the game that, you know, she couldn't have met before she got here, including but not limited to a character we still haven't met yet. Or not even characters, just, you know, creature types, I guess. Similar stuff going on in here. Several masks that we're going to get later in the game that we don't have yet. Some kind of weird robot man with a gun. Interesting. A smaller spaceship, perhaps? What is all of this? Is it just all of her imagination? I don't think so. I think it's just mystical and doesn't make any sense. I don't think this is necessarily a message this is all happening inside of Hat Kid's head. It is called A Hat in Time. There could be time travel shenanigans involved, couldn't there? There's not a ton of time stuff going on in this game except for the time pieces, so perhaps there's time travel afoot. In case you're waiting for, like, some big revelatory lore at the ending of this game to explain this kind of stuff, don't. I'm only pointing it out because it's interesting. This is not what this game is about. It is not about big twists and lore. Anyway, what else we got going on here? We've fulfilled all of our contractual obligations, but I suspect we have more contracts anyway. Closer to the big finale, but not quite there yet. What do we got here? I think I know where that is, but it's been a little while. Do I know where that? I know where that is, approximately. Well, you know what? We gotta go and bump into Snatcher again and get more contracts anyway. So it doesn't matter which chapter we pick necessarily. We'll just Subcon Well again. Subcon Well is kind of the free roam one, as for our current purposes at this point in time. It'll just kind of let us go wherever. Anger and hate are supreme, says Little Big Quebec. Video City 1 says, hate leads to suffering. I've already suffered plenty, don't worry. The hate has already filled me with plenty of suffering. Remember earlier when Ben from Canada was like, oh, hey, what did he refer? It wasn't pessimistic Jacob, it was, what did he call me? He called me, yeah, Ben from Canada called me, it's my boy Miserable Jacob. And I was like, no, I'm not miserable about anything. And then you guys reminded me of Kingdom Hearts 3, and I got miserable again. I don't know. Today's a good day, though. Honestly, they just announced. We are now no longer will there be PlayStation Plus games for the PS3 and PlayStation Vita after the next 2 days. That's unfortunate. Right now, you can get Metal Gear Solid 4 and something else on PS4 and PS3. I mean, and 2 games on Vita. And after that, they'll be done. No more PlayStation Plus games offered for those systems. That is a shame. It's too bad. I forget what's on PS4 this month. Oh yeah, it's For Honor and Hitman: The Complete First Season. So hey, if you're interested in that Hitman 2, or if you liked our playthrough of the original Hitman, you can, if you have PlayStation Plus, you can get Hitman: The Complete First Season for free on PlayStation Plus for the next 2 days. You got to get it today or tomorrow. After that, it's gone forever. I mean, it's not gone forever. It won't be free after tomorrow. But next month's offerings, though they have cut PS3 and PS Vita, are crazy. They're obviously doing it as a posturing thing of, hey, we cut these other 2 systems, but hey, look at all what good stuff we're giving you on PS4. Next month's free games are The Witness and Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered. That's nuts. Those are extremely good games. I am getting both of them for free. I can't think of... I have very rarely even get the free PlayStation Plus games. I know that I know Joey just gets, he doesn't download them, but he saves all of them to his library in case he ever wants them, you know?
Hello there. You look new around here.
Oh dear.
You know, I haven't seen a good solid neck like yours for a long time. I wouldn't mind being cute neck like yours. I would be honored to be the one who squeezes the life out of you. You can grab onto me whenever you'd like, as long as I get a glimpse of that neck of yours.
Oh dear. I hope you guys could hear that since we were having audio issues earlier. Certainly hope you all got to hear that. This game is fantastic, by the way. But yeah, no, I mean, I occasionally get the PS Plus games that I'm interested in. But this is the first time I can think of ever where I'm just going to be getting both of the offerings and probably installing them relatively soon and playing them. Here we go. All right, Snatcher, give me a new job. This music in particular, when he shows up, is very Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door. Not the second track, kind of, but the initial when he jumps out is... I'll shut up next time. It is very Thousand-Year Door.
I was kind of expecting a new victim to step in line. Don't take it personal.
Alright, here we go.
Which burden do you want to carry for the rest of your life?
I think... What's this? Yeah, the boss? I like bosses. Defeat the boss. Yeah, sure. I'll fight a boss. I've already fought plenty of those. I'm a big tough kid. I can take care of myself.
This one should be a breeze. You're leaving all the difficult contracts for the newbies, though, which is really rude when you think about it. Whatever. I'm off. Smell you later.
Natalie Hernandez, lol, man, I'm sorry that you didn't like it. If anything, thanks to your videos, I managed my expectations, and I enjoyed. So thank you, Jacob. As I've already talked about on Twitter, it wasn't that I hated Kingdom Hearts 3. Again, we're not talking about it too much here. I liked the vast majority of it. It's just that everything having to do with the original story, in particular the end, I don't know, not everything. A lot of the stuff early in the game regarding the original story was fine, but once you get towards the end of the game, it was less than satisfactory to me personally. Alrighty, let's see. There's still fire blocking off parts of these woods, which it blocks my access to, because I remembered where one of these things was, but we do not presently have the firewalls down, so we can't actually get to it. Which means what I probably need to do is go back and take care of those fire spirits that were in the swamp. I know I could be using the sprint cap to get around faster, but I'm trying to get myself, used to the controls and the double jump and the dive and the kind of skill speed up option again. So. Right, oh, that's right. Right, we're good. We already saved. It saved the previous two, so we just get up here and grab this one. Oh, look, it's the conductor. Ah! I can't make me movie if you burn me in this fire. Uh-oh. Don't kill me. Don't grab me, bro. I like money. Give me money. I like it a lot. And I need more of it. Got lots of things that I want to buy. Big spender. I don't actually want to go to Subcon though. I guess now, since... I could go and find... because I don't think that was actually the fire that I wanted. I think that cleared the wrong part of the forest for my current purposes. Yeah, that cleared everything to the right. We can go ahead and try and find the fire spirit. I think the next set of fire spirits that I need is in the burning forest over this direction. So, I guess I can go and try to hunt them down, deal with their paintings. The area music here, I should point out, also very, very Thousand-Year Door. I play Thousand-Year Door music at the beginnings of the streams sometimes, and this in particular reminds me a little bit of the Twilight Town music. Yes, there is a location called Twilight Town in the Thousand-Year Door. And it also reminds me a little bit of the Bogley Woods theme, which I play pretty frequently at the beginning of our streams, because it's a great track. Where am I going from here? I don't see an obvious path forward. Ah, big spook. Big spook. Okay, here we go.
Oh, is that a yarn up there?
I'm a big fan of yarn. Oh, missed it. Okay, we're gonna restart this. Okay, I screwed that up.
Branches nearby haven't burned up yet. Oh, is that a yarn up there?
Screwed that up, but I will do better this time. I always forget that you can double jump again after you bounce off of an enemy. I was trying to save my double jump till the last second I remembered. Oh yeah, no, I have. I'm still allowed to do that again. Which I guess I didn't even need to do. Looks like I could have just double jumped and dove, but whatever. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Fantastic. Linus asks, Jacob, who's your favorite character in this game? Gosh, that's tough. For raw voice acting chops, I think I gotta give it to Xander Mobus, or whatever his last name is, as the conductor. Because, good gosh, do I love the conductor's voice. What are you doing on me movie set? It's good stuff. I appreciate it a lot. In terms of their writing from a script standpoint, either probably the conductor or Snatcher. And do not take this in any way as a slight against Snatcher's voice acting, because Snatcher's performance is also great, but I just really really enjoy the conductor. I get a big kick out of him. We have, at this point, kind of encountered most of the characters in this game, because the final world of this game does not really introduce any new cast members, but that's okay. You know, honestly, what am I talking about? Favorite character's right here. I like Cat Kid a lot. It's remarkable how much personality they managed to imbue her with, with these very occasional, very brief little lines of dialogue that she sometimes has. She doesn't really talk that much. She doesn't really have a lot going on, but whenever they do give her lines, you really do get a sense of who she is, which is nice. And funny. Because I appreciate the honesty of, you know, kids are sometimes into things that are a little bit grim, a little bit serious. And you know, kids can be amused by things where like, oh no, keep the kids away from that, but then they can be like, haha, burn the ants with my magnifying glass, right? So when she's like grabbing those paintings to go and burn them, and she's like, come with me. It doesn't, I mean, part of this game feels kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? In some ways it feels kind of, sardonic, I guess? Kind of sarcastic, kind of, like, it can feel on its surface like it's just kind of being edgy, like it's towing the line of what is acceptable in a children's game or whatever, or in a game that can be played by children at minimum. But honestly, I like it because as I've said many times before, kids can often handle more than we give them credit for. And oftentimes the things that really stick with us as from our childhood are the things that challenge us, you know, that push us, that challenge us, that we come back to as adults and go, oh, this wasn't as scary as I remember it being. And I can really imagine being a kid and latching onto this game a lot. There are aspects of it that I think would be a little bit too challenging for a kid to keep up with from a gameplay standpoint, maybe. But I also know there are plenty of games that I played as a kid that I can beat very quickly as an adult, that, though they took me a long time to beat as a child, I did beat. Because I didn't really buy a lot of games, and I had a lot of attrition and a lot of patience. And when you're a child, it's easier to amuse yourself with running in circles and doing the same thing over and over again, and just exploring a world. When your game literacy isn't quite there yet, when you're not as familiar with the, with how games work, then just wandering around in the woods like I'm doing right now can really be all you need to have fun for hours on end. Which is probably why I've enjoyed Red Dead Redemption 2 so much. It's the first time I've really had that sensation in a game in a while, where I just feel like I can just walk around. I can just walk around for hours, and it's like, yeah, this is great. Let me just walk around. Let me just ride my horse around. This is all that I ever wanted to do. Thank you. Oh, crap. Well, I'm not getting that one on this run. Oh, no, they do respawn. Good, never mind. My mistake. There we go. Nailed it. And so in the same with that line of thinking, I look at something like this game and I say to myself, I'll come back to that later. And I say to myself, while some of the aspects of this game may just feel like they're there because the developers were kind of reaching all over the place or just trying to be edgy, in many ways I feel like this approach to the character and to the tone of this world is actually remarkably honest. I just talked over his music again, but I wasn't expecting it that time. I apologize. Again, like I said, it's very Paper Mario. Enter the manor, find out what's in the attic. Get me something from the manor. The following parts of the forest will be available. I'll be keeping the following hostage, your soul. But keep anything else you find on the way. Okay.
Not a bad choice. This one should be a breeze. You're leaving all the difficult contracts for the...
Dean Weiss says, do you believe that what Nomura said about us seeing, quote, a lot of Final Fantasy VII this year? Well, I mean, it's coming out on the Switch, so, you know, really it's how much time are you going to put into it? That's what really matters. To answer your question less sarcastically, I think the main reason that we haven't seen Final Fantasy VII is because they've learned... part of it is them learning their lesson, and part of it is a lesson that they already understood, which is you don't contest your marketing cycles. When you have a big product coming out, you don't talk about other products that aren't coming out anytime soon. You don't want to distract people from the thing that you want people to be spending money on. Here's the basic premise, right? You're working on 2 projects. One of them is out right now, and you can sell it to people for money. The other one isn't going to be out for 3 years. Which one are you going to spend time talking to people about, even if you're more excited for the other one? You need money. You gotta eat.
Statue's nice.
And quite frankly, they needed all the focus that they could put on Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 is out of the way. Square doesn't really have any major releases coming up anytime soon. They do have that new game from Tokyo RPG Factory that got shown off on the, not this literally most recent Nintendo Direct, but the one before this one, the general purpose Nintendo Direct. Oh, I've already been here. But other than that, they don't really have a ton of big projects coming up in the near future that I can think of, which means they're not going to be contesting their own products, their own marketing, talking about a project that won't be coming out for a little while now, especially if the projects that are out right now aren't really incredibly big budget projects. You know, that little, whatever the name of the Tokyo RPG Factory game is, I forget what it's called, is obviously kind of in a completely different league from a Final Fantasy VII remake. It's just a different product entirely. They don't really compete with each other. Whereas Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy VII definitely compete with each other. And at this point, with nothing else really to talk about, I'm sure they will have stuff to show. Now, how much gameplay will they show? Will we see a release date? How far out is it? These things are all impossible to say. But the fact of the matter is that they've said we are going to see it, and there is no longer anything standing in the way of showing it off from a business standpoint beyond the hypothetical internal statement of, it's not coming out for a long time, so let's not show too much. Or, it's really rough right now and not finished, and we don't want to show anything right now. So if those two situations aren't a big issue, then I imagine we'll see a decent amount of it this year. And if, hypothetically, Part 1 of the Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming out next year, I'm not saying that it is, but if it is coming out next year, then they'll probably start showing a lot of it this year. And now you may say, that's completely ridiculous. Square Enix would never start, talking about a game so close to its release a year away, right? Square Enix starts talking about things 5 years in advance. But they did start talking about it 5 years in advance. Just because it went away for 3 years doesn't mean they didn't announce it early. And in a recent shareholder meeting, the head of Square Enix was talking about, hey, listen, yeah, so we done goofed, and we are going to be seriously rethinking our overall structure of our business, of our game development teams, and how many big AAA games we produce and how we produce them. So, quite frankly, you know, who knows how much of that statement was real, how much of that was just posturing, but it's entirely possible that we are in for a new age of who knows with Square Enix. It could be that we are in for a new age of wouldn't have called that one 6 months ago. So we'll see. We gotta give it some time, and we gotta find out. I'm sure that we will see where it all goes, but I get the sensation that that we are that maybe Square Enix is going to surprise us with some of their upcoming business decisions with regards to their AAA games. I don't know that. I'd like to hope that, and maybe that's a fool's hope. But we'll find out. We'll find out later. On the bright side, I just saw a Firefox. Alrighty, here we go. Quite a few paintings here.
Those poor dwellers can't stand on things like this. They pass right through.
Fascinating. What do we got here? Mafia? Yes. Appears to be mafia of some kind is trapped in painting.
Once more.
Big dead. Alright, here we go. Not quite what I was looking for, but that's okay. Alrighty. All I need to do is just kill it again. It just needs to go away. Oh, it wasn't even really affecting anything, I don't think. I don't think that one was bound to anything. I guess that was just for fun. That was just to clue you into the fact that there was an apple inside of the structure, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. That makes sense. There's nothing up there, is there? Nah, it's alright. Is that DJ Grooves? Looks kind of like DJ Grooves.
You'll come with me.
Yes, you will. Ow. I tried too hard. I was too committed. Oh, hold on. I need to get up there to get to the next painting, don't I? Okay, hold on. I can do better than this. I can't do better than this. I can't do better than this. Man, I'm butchering it. Huzzah. Huzzah! I say huzzah. I'm just gonna skim through chat really fast since I had that whole Final Fantasy VII discussion. I don't know what anybody actually said about it. I'd rather hear nothing about Final Fantasy VII until there is actually anything, says Camille. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Camille, total fever dream, but what if FF7 is a launch title for the PS5? I wouldn't say that's a fever dream at all. I'd say that is a very realistic scenario. Especially considering the statements of, yeah, we were dissatisfied with CyberConnect 2's work and we had to scrap everything and restart in-house. You know what that says to me? That says we got next-gen development kits. I mean, we're gonna look. Xbox, the PS5 and the Xbox One 2 Punch are going to get announced this year or next year. It's gonna happen. And at this point, Square Enix is always like, what's the new big thing? How can we be the big boys on campus with the graphics? If they can move it to next gen, they will. As stupid as a decision I think that is, it is in character, and they will do it. So expect that. All right, we need to go this way. I really do like this theme. Another raccoon. Oh, no, hold on. Hold on. There you go. There you go. You can do it. No, Hat Kid, you can do it. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Fire. Yay. I don't even know what's over here, but I'm going to find out. Oh, right, I saw this chest up here a second ago. What am I talking about? I knew what I was coming up here for, and then I just forgot. More yarn. That's fine. You never know if you're going to get a relic or a token or yarn. That's all worth it. You won it all, so who cares? Alrighty, next we need to go inside this building, it seems. Or not this building, this structure. Excuse me. Got 2 items that need to be destroyed! Stay away from me! Yikes. Oh, yeah, so we need to kill a couple of these spiders, of course. Silly me. No, oh, come on, Hat Kid. Thank you. Spooky. Oh, it wasn't even attached to an apple. It was attached to the spider and to the bird. Alright, whatever. It's fine. All that matters is that it's dead now, and I took care of it. Is that, oh, that's an enemy from the last level. We haven't gotten there yet. No. I want, listen here, okay? I can't get out of here with the painting, can I? Nope, I'm stuck in here now. That's gonna have to respawn. I can't get out of here with this. Yeah, this game's got some spotty spots. It's not perfect. I can admit that. Oh well, it'll respawn. It's okay. I was the one who tried to do things in a funky order. That was my own fault. I should have expected that to happen. And then after this, I believe there's just one more painting. And then we'll be done with these boys. And we went to actually getting some timepieces. Another picture of the badge salesman. Person, excuse me. There's one more that I've overlooked. Oh no, okay. I guess that just kind of bugged itself out. All right, I think that's all of the dwellers taken care of now. I just want to point this out as well. We were talking more about like the depth of field effects and stuff from a second ago, but check this out, right? So when you go into we go into the fire section of the forest, right? I noticed this before, but didn't talk about it. So again, in an effort to make this feel less gamey and bigger and realer than it is, right? Look at that. Fire in every direction. Embers in the air, burning trees. This general oppressive atmosphere stretches as far as the eye can see. Shoop. Gone. It's actually a very harsh transition, but they keep it as if it isn't. So, and then honestly, when it's a fade, as bizarre as it sounds, it's less noticeable than just walking in from the fire area to the snow area. As bizarre as that sounds, it coats it in an air of mystique and distance. And of course, when you're just in the fire area, it makes it feel like this space goes on for forever. There's a lot of really cool tricks, man. A lot of really cool tricks that I appreciate the hell out of. Up we go. Oops. I missed. I'll try for this one. Is there anything even going on over here? I'm not sure I can get anywhere from here. Perhaps this is something of a dead end. Or this is something of a glitch. That's also possible. Oh well, it's fine. We're not actually interested in any of that stuff. We generally know where we're going, actually. What is this, though? Some kind of stone henge? Gotten several of these today, that's good. I want Rift tokens. We need more customization for Hat Kid. Must be cute. Must achieve cute. Natalie Hernandez says, they said that they have some announcements at E3, right? But the fact that Sony is not going to this E3 makes me lose hope for FF7 Remake. It's not Sony exclusive. They said first on PlayStation like 5 years ago now. Who knows if that's even still true anymore? Just because they could have their own conference, you know? They'd had their own conference this year and showed nothing. Maybe this year they'll have their own conference and show something. You know, let's sit here for a minute and I'll look at chat, right? Let's sit here and relax. Maxin, relaxin', hanging out. Dean Weiss says, it's just, with how KH3 ended up, I can't help but feel Nomura's attention might have been a lot more split between that and FF7 than what most people thought. It's possible. I don't know. I don't want to put too much stock into that situation because there are a lot of other talented people working on 7 other than Tetsuya Nomura. You know, there's a lot of other people, talented people working over there, and Nomura was pulling double duty on KH3 as both director and writer. He's only directing 7, and I know that may sound silly. He's only directing, as if it's a small task. But the point is, there's a lot of moving pieces in place on both of those games, and I don't think that anything about Kingdom Hearts 3 should in any way necessarily be involved in premature judgment of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Video City 1, I never owned games as a kid. I've always been better at watching Let's Plays than actually playing, although I did get into Temple of Time and Ocarina 2 years ago, so I'm making progress. Video City 1, if I may ask, you've always been better at watching Let's Plays are a relatively new phenomenon as a kid. I'm just curious. Maybe I'm misinterpreting your verbiage here. And I'm not saying, tell me how old you are on... Oh dear, we just lost stream, didn't we? Okay. It said stream completely went offline for a second there, and now it's back. So, I don't know how much of that went away, or how much of that still exists. What I was saying was, Video City 1 said, I never owned games as a kid. I've always been better at watching Let's Plays than actually playing, although I did get to Temple of Time and Ocarina 2 years ago, so I'm making progress. My curious question was going to be, Video City 1, Let's Playing is a relatively recent phenomenon. Are you are you young enough that Let's Playing was a part of your childhood, or are you just saying that you didn't really get into video games until you were older, or you just weren't very good at them when you were younger? I'm just generally curious. And I assume that happened when we were talking about the kind of tone of this game or something. I'm not sure. Like, I'm always behind chat. That's why we're sitting here. That's why we're just sitting here, and I'm going to read chat for a minute. Natalie Hernandez, honestly, if they'd marketed 7 Remake alongside KH3, they would have overshadowed 3. Yeah, precisely what I was talking about before. But again, I'm reading old chat, so I'm sure that this is stuff that you guys were talking about while I was talking about it. And I do see the ghost of the tourist next to me, don't worry, or the dweller form of him. I'll talk to him in a minute. Dean Weiss said, well, Nomura said word was getting out and he feared the remake could get leaked, so he chose to announce it so that it could be official and not leaked. Kind of sad. Yeah, I feel that the prioritization of keeping leaks secret, it's kind of dumb. I mean, you want those big moments at E3 or whatever, but I really don't care. Especially, I mean, think about how many rumors there have been about Final Fantasy VII getting remade over the years. Another leak about, oh, they're remaking Final Fantasy VII. Ooh, who cares? It would have been white noise, no matter how many sources said that it was happening. You know what I mean? Except for the people who just want to believe it so bad that they believed every single other rumor. So again, no different from anything else. But I don't know. He said of KH3 when that was announced, I feel like we announced it too early. So I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of moving pieces, and again, I am hesitant to pin the blame on those types of decisions on Tetsuya Nomura, especially because he's not in charge of the marketing department. He's just a director and occasional writer. So I understand what you're saying there, Dean, and I do feel like I read that somewhere as well at one point. But even if he said that in an interview, I wouldn't put too much stock in him saying I was responsible for this decision, especially when you consider, remember, that with the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer, Tetsuya Nomura supposedly did not even know that he was on board to direct Final Fantasy VII Remake until they showed off the rough cut of the trailer internally. If they were already making a trailer to show at E3, and it was so early in pre-production that they hadn't notified him that he would be in the director's chair, I don't think he was really in any position to be making decisions about when the marketing for a game that he wasn't involved in was going to come out. So, I don't know. Conflicting information, but it's not exactly important. Video City 1 and Omnax Blade discussing hypothetical spoilers, and don't worry, I wouldn't count what the quotes you're throwing around as spoilers. That's way too vague for anybody to get anything out of that, I guess. Birth by Sleep isn't even finished yet, so, you know, whatever, it's fine. It's cool. I wouldn't worry about it. HK47 for life. Hello, Jacob. Hello. How are you doing today? Max Blade, that happens occasionally with stream cutting. We heard most of what you said. Yeah, I know. I don't know what's on. Honestly, guys, I've done everything that I can think of. I admit, I'm not a crack technical wizard on this stuff. I've done everything I can think of to optimize OBS, to optimize my streaming setup. I'm hardwired into Ethernet, and we have decent internet connection here. I don't know why the hell I have so many problems with these streams, but whatever. Dean Weiss says, everyone always misquotes that and thinks Nomura found out he was director at E3. The amount of comments I've gotten with people saying that is insane. Yeah, that's not what happened at all. That is a mischaracterization. Gotcha, Video City 1. I understand now. Thank you for... I was curious. Thank you for clarifying. Natalie Hernandez, I'm really curious about why Nomura didn't direct Final Fantasy 15 like he was supposed to focus on KH3, then they made him director on Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Oh, we'll never know all of the details, but I imagine there was a lot of internal office politics on that one, and also just general posturing from a marketing standpoint of being concerned about Tetsuya Nomura's brand value and the impression of this being a 10-year-long development game. Taking it away from Nomura creates the image of this is a new project, unassociated with that project. You can't say that it took 10 years. It wasn't Tabata's fault. It created this underdog story of a project of a crappy project being salvaged, right? I don't think that was necessarily their intent, but that was kind of how it worked out for them. With everybody talking about how Mr. Tabata and his team are miracle workers who have saved this game. It created a unique impression of Final Fantasy 15 going in that I think worked to its advantage when it comes to how the public and how critics perceived that game. Excuse me for one moment, I need to just stand up for a second. It's starting to get dark inside of my home, so I want to flip on a couple of lights in my immediate vicinity. Alright, here we go. But yeah, Natalie Hernandez, I think you will discover that at some point in the relatively near future, I'll be talking even more about the Mr. Nomura and Final Fantasy 15 situation. Perhaps not necessarily in the exact context that you're discussing. But everything, I don't know. Everything that we know about the 15 development situation and why people were and weren't taken off of projects, I've basically already discussed in the Final Fantasy 15 and the marketing campaign of Doom video. The front half of that video is the facts. It's what we know, and then the back half is mostly facts and some me extrapolating outwards, trying to approximate what happened behind the scenes. But for the most part, if you want to know more of what I think about the Nomura being taken off of 15, the Final Fantasy 15 and the marketing campaign of Doom video is an accurate summation of my feelings on the matter and also what we know about the matter. We don't really have a ton of new information on that front. Let's see. Well, Jordan Cambra says, I heard that Nomura had a lot of ideas for 15, and apparently when Tabata came in, he said the team was exhausted. This is all paraphrasing and just theories. You need to look at it this way. This is the thing that you have to keep in mind. The emotional toll involved in what I am about to outline for you, okay? You are Mr. Tetsuya Nomura, and collectively, Mr. Tetsuya Nomura and his crack team of developers, he gets a staff of people together to work on Kingdom Hearts 1, right? Some of those people wind up working on Chain of Memories, some of them. But pretty much all of them, and some new people, go on to work on Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 1 started development around 2000, like early 2000, right? I want to say it started like January or February of 2000 was when they started actual production on the game. After some pre-production, obviously. Kingdom Hearts 2 comes out, 2005, 2006. That means that you are working in close proximity with the same people across 6 years. This builds a certain amount of workplace camaraderie and loyalty, I would imagine. People who like working together and feel comfortable working together. 2006, Tetsuya Nomura takes his entire staff, everyone, to go and work on Versus 13, including people who left Kingdom Hearts 1, who weren't working on Kingdom Hearts 2. Folks like Jun Akiyama, who left to work on Final Fantasy 12, right? And other games. He gets everyone, that every single son of a gun that Tetsuya Nomura has ever worked with is credited on Versus 13 in those early trailers, right? Every single key person that he worked with. And we can assume, by extension, the vast majority of the development staff, right? In terms of how, business teams and development teams move around within companies, it would probably be all of his people. And Kingdom Hearts is essentially outsourced to Osaka. Even though it's internal at the company, it is essentially at this point outsourced. And then Coded and Days are quite literally outsourced. Not only is Days outsourced to another company, Coded is so outsourced that it is outsourced to another company and another director within Square Enix, because Hajime Tabata is a co-director on Coded. It wasn't even developed within Square, but it has another Square Enix co-director because Nomura outsourced it to someone else, even though they were outsourcing it. Nah. But anyway, the point is, hey, think about it again. Think about it from the emotional perspective. You and all of your game development buddies who have been working together for 6 years leave to go and work on your bold, M-rated, brand-altering passion project, right? You go to work on that and almost immediately discover, as soon as development is supposed to start in any capacity, that Crystal Tools is a disaster and does not work properly. Again, as I discussed in the Final Fantasy XV The Marketing Campaign of Doom video, to the point that there were times where the Final Fantasy XIII team developed assets for the game across the course of like 2 weeks, and then went to try and implement them into the engine and found out, oops, these files don't work, and we have to scrap them. So Versus 13 and Final Fantasy XIV both essentially get put on indefinite hold, and what now begins is a mixture of two things. A bunch of key creative staff who are all best buddies jazzed about working on their next thing, sitting around and twiddling their thumbs, with no real capital or resources to actually move forward with development of the game, so all they can do is come up with exciting new... They're essentially just more pre-production. Let's just plan more. That's all we can do for, like, from 2006 onward, essentially. That's all they're really doing. And making trailers, which are outsourced to, like, the cinema department of the company. Or the visual works, or where there's some division of their company that handles that stuff. Occasionally, people just get snatched off of that team, out of that group of people entirely because, hey, Crystal Tools and Final Fantasy XIII are a mess. We need help. Jun Akiyama, who was a writer and cinematographer, event director on Kingdom Hearts 1, writer and event director on Final Fantasy XII, event director on Vagrant Story. I think he was involved on Tactics in some way. Jun Akiyama was involved in a bunch of projects either as a writer or as a, like, scene director. Let me read off to you Jun Akiyama's credits. I think this will reveal where the problem comes from, right? Dynama Tracer for the Super Famicom, event design. Final Fantasy VII, event planner, snowboard minigame planner. Final Fantasy Tactics, event planner. Vagrant Story, event planner. Kingdom Hearts, event planning director, scenario writer. Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, event script editor. Kingdom Hearts 2, special thanks, because he's too busy on Final Fantasy XII being event direction. And even though he's not credited as a writer, if you actually, like, read behind-the-scenes documents about Final Fantasy XII, after the first director of 12 left, Jun Akiyama basically got a Battlefield promotion and was helping Daisuke Watanabe, like, write more content for the game that ultimately had to be cut. Some of it got cut. I'm looking specifically right at the Wikipedia page, which is that a lot of the stuff that they came up with had to be cut in order to finish the game on time. So this is Jun Akiyama, right? This is who he is. This is it's event design, event planner, event scripting director, event planning director, scenario. This is his wheelhouse, right? So International Zodiac Job System, Final Fantasy 12 event direction, because it's all the same events from 12. Final Fantasy Tactics A2 Grimoire of the Rift, special thanks. He worked on the previous 2 Tactics games, so maybe he, helped them out at some point with that. I don't know. What's his next credit after all of that? Final Fantasy XIII Crystal Tools development staff. But actually, there's another credit. There's another credit that he has. It's not here, but he has another credit. Do you know what it is? His name shows up in the Versus 13 trailers. So he and everybody else sat around from 2006 to 2009, either A, doing a lot of thinking, or B, helping with a game that they weren't involved on because they were told to. A writer and a director is somehow development staff on a game engine. Huh. Interesting. Anyway, so after Final Fantasy XIII is done in 2009, right? okay, now finally, Crystal Tools is finished. We can actually start working on the game. So they start working on the game finally. But everybody's already been working on it for 3 years. I'd be pretty emotionally exhausted by that point. And also, I imagine they're still probably trying... Crystal Tools is still a bad engine. It's still I mean, it has not magically become a good engine just because 13 is finished. It was cobbled together just enough to make 13 run, which you then observe when Final Fantasy XIV, which came out, used Crystal Tools and is a complete disaster because they just scrambled to get Crystal Tools running just enough to release Final Fantasy XIII, right? You know, since we're just sitting here talking, even though we're probably going to be done relatively soon, I'll flip on my webcam. Oh, wow, it's real dark. I'll fix that. Oh, what am I doing? I have this thing. I forgot. I have all kinds of fancy new gizmos. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. All kinds of fancy tech. Shabams. Alrighty. Yeah, so we have a scenario where we see the next game that's made by Crystal... Final Fantasy XIII, love it or hate it, is one of the most polished AAA games ever released. It is immaculately well produced, if nothing else, right? All the animations look great. It runs pretty well. Great art, you know, I don't know, maybe not great. Regardless of art direction or direction of cutscenes, how good the combat was, whatever, it runs well. It looks good. It is well produced. There is money on display. It does its job. It is functional, right? Final Fantasy XIV is the exact same engine. It is a technical disaster. Nothing works right. Nothing runs correctly. Completely in shambles, right? So much so that they have to completely destroy the game and start over from scratch. You, the audience, probably know how Final Fantasy XIII plays. It's a pseudo-turn-based game where the allies and enemies are both kind of on AI routines, and you just manipulate their AI routines. There's like a static camera angle up here, and you hit buttons, and the characters do animations, and numbers show up, whatever, yeah. Final Fantasy XIV is, you know, tab, you know, is your macro-based, you know, MMO. You got a bunch of different actions that you flip through. You wander around big fields. You navigate bad menus, all that kind of stuff. Versus 13 was going to be a bigger, more complicated Kingdom Hearts 2. And Crystal Tools kind of ran a linear walk forward, can barely even jump, let the computer do everything for you, turn-based combat game. And then apparently it had no power to handle an MMO. So, like, how is Crystal Tools ever gonna run a Kingdom Hearts 2 in, like, it was gonna run it was running Kingdom Hearts 3 essentially, you know, a more sophisticated version of that type of game. How is it ever going to run such a project, I ask you? So, finally, hey, we can finally get to work on Versus 13 after all of these years, right? Oh no! This engine is literally on fire. And we're all already emotionally and physically exhausted, and probably worried about our jobs at this point. Because we haven't done anything for 3 years. People who don't do anything for 3 years usually get fired. And now you've just been in this constant state of pre-production planning for years. You have a director who is now probably very fed up with this whole situation of, you know, somebody else's projects taking precedence over his, and just continually getting shuffled around between, okay, I kind of want to make this Birth by Sleep thing, but on the side while I'm busy with something else. But hey, Nintendo wants a DS game. Okay, fine, I guess I'll also write a DS game. Okay, but also Disney wants a cell phone game. Okay, I guess I'll get drunk and write a cell phone game. Nobody's happy, nobody's enthusiastic by the time the 13 is done, and you can get to work, right? So, they're working on it, it's probably going very poorly, but I don't know that, that's just hearsay. 2012 rolls around, development kits for Xbox One and PS4 arrive, and you're a Square Enix executive, and you're like, this game started production in 2006, and it's barely running and they've got like less than a quarter of the game finished. Now, as far as I am concerned, as Jacob, looking at this Square Enix executive, that's your fault! But I am now resuming the role of Japanese Square Enix executive. It's not my fault. It just kind of happened. These things just happen, right? Who can tell what will happen when we decide to develop a completely new next-generation game engine for 3 completely different types of games simultaneously? You never know what'll happen. These are just risks that you take when you're in the video game development industry. So from there, you... Joshua just flipped on a light. So I guess we don't need this. We'll knock that down a little bit. So from there, you say to yourself, well, might as well just make this our big PS4 game. I mean, we've already got all the pre-production done on it, and the engine isn't working well anyway, so we'll just make it a new game, and we'll start another engine from the ground up for this game. What could possibly go wrong? Nothing could go wrong. Because it's self-correcting, nothing can go wrong. Nothing can go wrong. Nothing can go wrong. So, by the time you get to 2014, this project has taken a long time, and even though Kingdom Hearts 3 is now in development, 2 things happen. Number 1, somebody at the top realizes, hey, by developing Luminous and Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 for it at the same time, aren't we replicating the situation that destroyed us last generation? Perhaps we should try something different. Maybe I should do something a little different. So they did something a little bit different, and they changed Kingdom Hearts 3 over to Unreal 4, which caused that team to lose a year of work. But these things happen. These are just expenses that you eat in the video game industry. And you also say to yourself, well, Mr. Nomura didn't get this game anywhere with, 6 years of development time. And the Kingdom Hearts franchise, you look at those sales numbers, they're going down. Just keep on going down. We go from the DS, an incredibly popular and successful handheld, to the PSP, which is popular and successful, but not nearly as much as the DS or the PlayStation 2. And then we go to Coded, which never releases outside Japan, and by the time it releases on the DS in the States, nobody cares about the Nintendo DS or Kingdom Hearts anymore. And then they release a game called Dream Drop Distance, and even though the 3DS has lots of units sold, it's a game called Dream Drop Distance. So the curve very consistently looks like this, with a slight upward tick for Dream Drop because it's on 3DS. So you're a Japanese businessman, you look at the chart and you say, chart says going down. Clearly the problem is that Tetsuya Nomura has not made Kingdom Hearts 3 and is splitting his focus between multiple projects, and this is fine, because clearly he doesn't know what he's doing with this Versus 13 thing anyway. And so you take him off of Versus Final Fantasy 15, and you put him back on Kingdom Hearts 3. After Tetsuya Nomura has now spent, let's see, from 2006 to 2014. I suppose that would be about 8 years. 8 years working on his weird passion project, 3 of which were spent doing nothing. The next 3 of which were spent working on a crappy engine that is barely running, and then you were told to delete. And then you spend another 3 years, and they say, you're off the project. And then about a year later, you find out, because of a rough cut of a trailer that airs internally at the company, that you're also directing the Final Fantasy VII remake, and no one told you. Suddenly, some of the anger and the frustration and the seeming complete lack of interest that we see in Kingdom Hearts 3, some of the complete lack of interest and absolute loathing for the material that he's working with, and the anger and the desire to be doing something else, anything else. What I'm saying is, to use Joey's words, Tetsuya Nomura is the sympathetic villain of this story. Teba said, I actually watched that Final Fantasy 15 marketing video last night. Really interesting to see the game's timeline. Yeah. I find this whole subject to be fascinating to me, honestly. All of this stuff is extremely interesting to me, which obviously is why I can talk about it for so long. Understanding, analyzing Mr. Nomura's work. Perhaps how some of the creative decisions involved in Kingdom Hearts 3 happened. I've said this, I kept it vague on Twitter, but I mentioned something about Tetsuya Nomura did not want to make Kingdom Hearts 3. I'll talk about that more another time, but you kind of have the basis of it now. I'd be upset. Quite frankly, I would quit if I was him. If this has happened to me, I'd quit. The only reason that I wouldn't quit, which is exactly what is happening, is if, through some inexplicable miracle, the company was also still giving me infinite money to remake Final Fantasy VII and to just keep doing whatever the hell I want with Kingdom Hearts, as long as it fits within the Walt Disney Company's branding guidelines. And while the Walt Disney Company, you know, might have hard line on, you know, blood and gore and cursing and sexual content, you know what they don't care about? Weird shit. If we just put a lot of weird stuff in this game, I can do whatever I want, and nobody will care, because what does Disney care about? Just a bunch of weird things happening.
Steve from work went to the moon last spring. He said it was great. Darn Steve. He always has to one-up me. I'll show him with a postcard from the moon. This is all right. I can see myself having a picnic here. Still, it's no moon. Gotta get up there so I can send a postcard to Steve from work.
I really enjoyed this character. I'm not sure where he is on the next world or if he's there at all. Maybe I'm just forgetting about him, but he shows up on the moon set in Deadbird Studio. I forget if he shows up at all in the next world. I don't think he does, but maybe I'm just forgetting. Because it has been a while since I 100% of this game now. There's a ton of little details that I'm rediscovering as I play this, so... Something I'm discovering for the first time, like the effects of the forest. When we were in the fire and it makes it look bigger than it is, that I was talking about a minute ago. I couldn't have told you about that before we started streaming today. I'm not sure if I had ever really thought about it previously. I'll go ahead and cut off my camera again, and we'll get back into this, I think. I'm gonna scroll back through chat really fast. Seems like people weren't really talking much during my whole discussion there, which kind of surprises me. I figured you guys would have a lot to say about that, but whatever, it's fine. I'm gonna skim this really quickly, and we'll get back to work. Dean, I'm just glad they gave up on bad engines and are just using Unreal. I wouldn't get too comfortable, Dean. I seriously suspect that, I don't know, maybe it'll be changed now since they're talking about, again, like this, what I was just saying a minute ago about, in a recent shareholders meeting, they were like, yeah, we're going to completely rethink the way that we approach, you know, large game development teams and developing big games and develop fewer of them. I hope that translates to we've learned our lesson on this whole engine business, but they certainly made it sound like they were developing some kind of PS5 engine a while ago, so I don't know. Camille says it's like watching and understanding a train wreck. Yes, this is why I'm insane, and why I care too much about things. I have to understand stuff like this, things that don't matter and that nobody else cares about. And that I probably still don't understand, because I don't have enough information. I'm reducing, like, 15 years of history. I'm reducing 15 years of many people's lives and a bunch of internal corporate secrets to a discussion that I can sum up in about 20 minutes. That's all hearsay. Who knows if any of it's real? Just my own attempt to rationalize these crazy things that I do not understand. Or didn't understand. Now I think that I do. It makes me a little bit less nervous to feel that I have some understanding of how the world functions. Nelly Hernandez, he did say he related more to Xehanort than to Sora, lol. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that right now. That is a discussion for another day. Partially because of future Kingdom Hearts game spoilers, partially just because of... I cannot get into that right now. I've got so much to say on the subject of Mr. Nomura and his opinion on the Kingdom Hearts series, but this is a subject for another day. I think I should be clear after that discussion as well, because it may not be clear. I actually have a lot of respect for Tetsuya Nomura. Like, legitimately. He's made a lot of projects that I really like, and I respect his artistic vision. I think he must be pretty smart if he keeps getting work, and he's made several things that were pretty good and that I really enjoy. I just also think that he's now stuck on some projects that he is not personally interested in anymore, so we're winding up with kind of derivative, weaker versions of his earlier projects. But like I said, discussion for another day. I should just be very clear, since I keep saying Mr. Nomura. I don't want that to sound sarcastic. It's because I'm calling him Mr. Nomura because I feel like calling him Tetsuya Nomura or Tetsuya is like not appropriate. Calling him Nomura-san is like, I'm not that much of a weeb. But, so Mr. Nomura. He is a professional. He's significantly older than me. Mr. Nomura. I just want to make sure that when I say that, I am not being sarcastic. I'm not trying to be demeaning towards him as an individual. I suspect that I actually like Tetsuya Nomura a lot more than other people do. Again, part of what I talk about in that Final Fantasy 15 and the marketing campaign of Doom video is that it seems like people really have like this bad impression of him and what his deal is that I do not think is fair. Anyway, since the camera is not always cooperative, let's just go ahead and use this to look at this freaking area. What is going on here? Speaking of Kingdom Hearts and Tetsuya Nomura's artistic vision, this kind of reminds me of Hollow Bastion, actually. The water's frozen as opposed to flowing up, but it's kind of similar, actually. I guess the splashes are sort of still going up, like they're splashing upward, but... Could this perhaps be the impact site of a timepiece, and it is causing distortions in the space-time continuum? Oops. Not good. How do we get up there? So many mysteries. Waiting to be solved. Oh no. I honestly don't remember how to get up there. Are there platforms nearby that I'm supposed to use or something? I'm probably supposed to come in from the trees, aren't I? I suspect that I'm supposed to come in from another angle. Or I just am bad, and I'm not platforming good enough. What's this? Interesting, interesting. What's over here? A locked tree. Wow, nobody's getting in there, unless they have a keyblade. I've been around this road with you before, statue. I'm not a fan. Yep, I see ya. Leave me alone, you son of a gun. Can I kill you with this potion? No, but I can't get you stuck in a tree, so it doesn't even matter. Oh no! He's not stuck in a tree! Is it like, is it like a Blink? It's like the monsters in Blink, isn't it? If I look at it, it freezes, maybe? I don't know. Oh, hold on. I still have the, that would probably impair my platforming abilities in important ways. Hey, this could be a vantage point to get to what I need to get to. Essentially, he said to himself, immediately skeptical of the words that had left his own mouth. I don't see an obvious way up there. Which means I'm probably overlooking an obvious thing that's right on top of it here. Let's look again. Maybe I'm just being stupid and I'm overthinking things. Perhaps I'm overthinking things and not using my gamer ingenuity. We are set to very far. I wish that you could, like, look up, but this is as up as you can look. It's a problem. Much as I like this game, you can tell it was developed by, like, 6 people. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Tried that before, missed it, but I got it now. Catch it this time. There we go. Oh, one of the longer ones. Oh, of course, I forgot the purple ones are always like this. I'm a fool. Hey, here's the sleeping raccoon enemies that I was talking about earlier. Or tanukis, perhaps. I don't know what they are. Oh, I can't kill. He's just sleeping. Can't hide from me, comic book page. I'm probably gonna miss some of these, but I'll try my best not to. Okay, alright. Now we gotta do some actually difficult platforming. Let's give this our best shot. Like, I like, picked this, like, oh yeah, let's go do this, let's get the timepiece, whatever. And then I was like, oh right, I forgot, this is, like, level. But the music inside these sequences is always amazing, so it's fine. We've been doing just free roaming around spooky forests for so long. We could afford you something a little bit different, right? That's progress, but I need more of the golden pawns. Alright, let's see. Another comic book page over there, and 3 pawns over there, and then 1 in that direction. Okay, here we go. Hopefully I can find everything on this run. I would like to be able to see the comic. If we can't, that's okay. Just look it up on your own time. Okay, gotta be careful with that. Oh crap. Completely lost control of that one there. Where does this path go? Nowhere? Certainly looks like a lot of nowhere. Certainly looks like a lot of death trap. Yeah, this looks like alternate paths to get to places I've already been to, and I just hurt myself. So that means I took that damage for absolutely nothing, but it's okay. That. Thank you. Thank you. Huh. Ruben Corona, will FF7 Remake Part 1 be 60% dialogue? Eh. It's hard for a video game to be 60% dialogue. Even visual novels, I would say, aren't 50% dialogue, because aren't 60% dialogue, because they're 50% visual. Games gotta be games. Games have game, in them. Play them. Things happen. I think it would be. I don't think that. I think that Final Fantasy VII Remake being all cutscene and no substance is the least of our worries with that game. It could happen, sure, but I think I have much bigger fish to fry on the subject of ways that the Final Fantasy VII Remake could tank. fears list. Just looking for any secrets I might have missed. They are pretty devious when it comes to hiding stuff in these levels. Standing right on the edge there, I guess. Oh, you gotta jump too? Is that what's going on here? Okay. No? How do we get to that one? Do I need a magnet on? Yeah, here we go. Okay. Perhaps if I balance on the very tiptoe edge. Hey, I did it. All skill. Thank you. However, there is... think. Thought I saw it. Okay. Anything else around there? Nope. We're good to go. Continue. Through the hole. Gabriel Hernandez didn't chat because we just gotta learn. I guess when I was saying... I'm surprised people didn't say more during my whole conversation. I guess, I mean, to be clear, I was like, I mean, you guys, the fact that you guys weren't talking, but they were still in the chat means, you know, you guys were listening, which, you know, I'm flattered by. I guess I was just saying I was surprised that I didn't see more people also discussing while I was talking. That's it. That's all I meant by that. Did not mean anything sinister or insulting or disappointing. It was merely an observation. You're very good at keeping our attention, Lowell, says Video City 1, and then a couple he'll point towards those two, so, alrighty. Bobcat, I think Nomura is slowly dying inside, at least faster than most of us anyway. Same. That is to say, I think the same. I think that is accurate. I think that is an accurate characterization of the man's state of being, is dying inside quicker than the rest of us. Damn it. I tried to swing. And I took the pawn with it, and I'm gonna fall and die. Oh boy, gotta restart this sequence then. Sorry, folks. Here, you know what? Let me read some more chat and I'll have something to talk about. Yeah, sorry, folks, if the stream is stuttering, but there's really nothing I can do about it. I've done everything I can to fix it up, I'm afraid. Video City 1, you play visual novels? No. I do not. I just know I know what they are. As we established earlier during this stream, I have not played a Pokemon game extensively since Silver in the early 2000s, but I still know plenty about Pokemon because I'm just a loser who pays attention to everything because I'm insane. I'm insane in the brain. I have not played Steins Gate, but I have watched Steins Gate, the anime. It's one of my favorite Anna memes. I really like the Steins Gate Anna meme. One of my favorite time travel stories, actually, next to stuff like Back to the Future. Big fan of Steins Gate, the anime. I'm sure I would probably like the game, but I say that. I don't know if I would, because I really don't like the art style of the game. Which is, you could say, is shallow, and it probably is, but I don't care. I just don't very much care for the art style of that game, and I can't believe I did that. How did I get to this before? Seriously, how did I do this? I got this last time. You guys remember, right? I jumped to it, and I got it, and I was there. Okay, well, now let's do it. Thank you. Whatever. Alright, we already lost a life in a stupid way, and there's very rarely any health pickups in these levels, so I'm gonna have to be cautious. And maybe not go for 100% completion. Does not want to detect that vine. Sometimes these things happen in video games. Sometimes I wish that they wouldn't happen. Okay, listen, little girl. You're being really difficult for me right now. appreciate it. Thank you, Headkin. Oh, crud. That was close. Almost killed myself. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need every single one to progress, so we're just not gonna get some of them. Means I'll have to pick up an extra somewhere else, but I am not hanging around to fight that raccoon. It's fine. I can find an extra elsewhere. I feel confident in my ability to get all of the ones in this stage, so it should be fine. Thank you. Okay. Still doing okay. I like the music progression in these levels as you go through each stage. It's appreciated. I guess I'm skipping that one. Sorry, guys, if I'm not talking for a second here, I just need to focus a little bit. I was going to try to say, hey, questions in chat, and I'll have something to talk about as I run through this again, but now I'm like, I need to not die. Don't worry about questions in chat. Okay, now that I'm in a secure position and I can get to the next stage, let's look back at back at chat. Oh no, Video City 1. I never played Digimon, so I guess I'm not a cool kid. Oh crap! God, I was looking at chat. Nope, I can't go in just yet. That's a trap. That is a trap. God, stop! Okay, well, gotta be very careful now, boys and girls. But I need my page. It's a large, heavy book titled Proof of Ethical Consumer Capitalism. The pages are all blank. It's a large, heavy book titled Proof of Ethical Consumption under under capitalism. The pages are all blank. Funny joke. A bit broad, but it's you don't expect it there. It's just like you're doing one of the standard, like one of the difficult platforming levels, and then suddenly, oh, book gag, and I'm dead. God, I can't believe that. Well, time to do that again. Let's read chat, so I'll have something to talk about. Let's just take a general, I guess let's just I'll do a general call for, hey, Q&A, hit me with some stuff. Hit me with some questions, and I'll answer them. Questions about, anything you want me to talk about, really, as long as it isn't Kingdom Hearts spoilers past the things that have already happened in the playthroughs. Other than that, I will talk about it. Well, no, it's not true. I might not talk about it, just because you asked me to, but I will, feel free to ask it, and maybe I'll talk about it. That's what I should have said. And I will be sure, now that I know the entire stage, and I remember that there are enemies that just attack you when you spawn into that last one, I will be, ready to deal with that situation like a man would. Video said he won. Yes, I saw Spider-Verse. It was fantastic. I mean, it's still, despite any strides that are made, it is still an animated kids movie, and in that regard, it is pretty simplistic in a couple of areas. But it's also, like, that's fine. It didn't need to be a super, like, it's fine. I enjoy plenty of programming that, you know, might not necessarily be traditionally for my age demographic, so I'm not complaining. It was a really good movie. There were certain aspects of it where I was like, you know, maybe the script could have been beefed up here a little bit more. The main thing was, no, you know, it's not even that. It's not even that it was, like, not complex enough and not interesting enough. The main problem was with the movie was that it was a bit rushed in spots. It needed to be a bit longer, but there are, number one, budgetary concerns with going over certain lengths with animation, and number two, expectations from the audience and an audience of children of a certain age of, like, how long can we expect kids sitting in the theater to be entertained by a movie. Traditional wisdom inherently limits the runtime of animated films. Like, traditional wisdom and also just production budgets for animation companies limit the runtime of movies like that. And they even said, like, they had to cut down the movie a lot from what they originally envisioned, and you can feel that. It doesn't feel like there is cut content from the movie, but you can feel moments where some breathing room would have been beneficial, I guess would be the best way to put it, right? If that makes sense. But ultimately, even though the script and story of the movie was pretty good, there were some genuinely effective moments, some really awesome characters in it. I think that the main thing that is awesome about Spider-Verse, and the main reason that I was saying beforehand that it needs to win the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, and if it doesn't, then that just proves that no one watched it, is that film, like, changes the game in terms of standards of what movies like that are allowed to do visually. That was the most visually inventive... God, that jump. That was the most visually inventive major studio animated film from the West that I have ever seen, maybe. I don't know, maybe not ever, but certainly recently. Come on, Hat Kid. Jesus, Hat Kid. Sorry, guys. Alright, just need that last page. Don't screw it up. Hat Kid. Okay, boys and girls. Oh, hey, you know what? We're just gonna do this. You say this is incredibly risky. I say speedrunning strats. I did it. Ammo says, would you please mail me some food? No. Next question. Sorry. Let's see. Natalie Hernandez, would you like Yoshi P to direct the next FF? I don't know. Yoshi P seems like a very talented guy, but he also seems like he's very much, I don't know, I mean, maybe I'm putting him in a hole by saying, you know, kind of pigeonholing him by saying this, putting him in a box, I should say, not in a hole. Obviously, he's making an MMO, so all of his interviews would be oriented around him talking about MMOs, but it sure sounds like the boy is an expert on MMOs. I'm not sure, you know, how much that would I'm not necessarily sure how much that would translate to other, quote-unquote fields of study. I'm not saying that he couldn't make another good game. I'm saying that maybe he's in that area and he's doing really well there, and maybe he's comfortable there and wants to keep working on that. Okay, I don't know, like, I guess my point is that I'm always skeptical on, like, saying, oh yeah, I really want to see this person try something they've never done before because, you know, I just want to know, right? Like, I'm sitting here over here going, when are they going to let Ito out of the janitor's closet because he's made really good games and I'd like to see more games by him. But as it stands, I have not played 14, and I don't know how well Yoshi P's qualifications and talents would be reapplied to a very different type of game. Maybe he'd be really good at making a single-player game. I don't know. Maybe he'd be good at that. But I guess my point is that I would not necessarily be... I'm not super duper, oh man, I hope that he gets the next one. I will say this, though. So I think this is the best way that I can answer your question when I try to limit myself getting excited for things that don't exist. If I found out that Yoshi P was directing the next mainline Final Fantasy game and it wasn't an MMO, I would be like, cool. That'll probably be neat. I'll keep my eye on that. If it wound up being bad, I'd be like, I guess he's more of an MMO guy. I don't know. I guess I'm not saying like these are completely different, incompatible worlds that you can't make the leap between, but I guess my point is I'm not sitting around going, when are we gonna get to see Yoshi P make his big single-player debut? And I'm completely offline. Okay, I don't know when that cut off. God, man, this thing is just not doing well at all. We've had complete drops several times today. We have had complete drops on multiple occasions. The point that I was trying to get to, if it got cut off there, was I'm not necessarily sitting around going, oh man, I hope Yoshi P gets to direct the next FF. But if it was announced that he was, I'd be like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Maybe he'll do good. I guess that's my outlook on that subject. Before I read any more questions, though, the tale of Queen Vanessa. Oh no. Oh dear, a misunderstanding. He was simply buying some flowers. Nothing sinister, nothing untoward, nothing behind her back. My. Maybe they want me to have that color. I guess I'm taking that color. The forest critter. I guess I have even better camo now. That's my biggest concern right now. Oh, so apparently my audio didn't cut out when I was talking about Yoshi P. Whatever. Just the video that's a problem. I hope you guys got to see that comic since I didn't really narrate the whole thing. I also feel that perhaps I have been untoward. Not untoward. I've made a mistake in order of presentation, but whatever. Perhaps I should have held off on... I didn't really think about the ramifications of that purple rift. We really should have done the next level first, but that's fine. I suppose you get to see it in a different order than a lot of people will. Queen Vanessa's Manor. Subcon Forest. Check out the Snatcher's old home. Term of the day, Rondo of Blood. Atmosphere, palpable. The colors are just useful, Video City 1. The colors are just... No, the colors are not useful. They're just for customization. You know, I say that. You know what? I don't think we should do this level today.
Manor is this way.
I know that, but I'm looking at the time, and this level will take me a while to finish, and I think we should probably wrap up relatively soon, so I'm going to do a shorter level instead. You may recall that the reason that we came here in the first place... Oh, crud! I did not mean to do that. I meant to go back to the hub. My mistake. I hope this game has an autosave feature. Yikes. Oh, yeah, okay, no, we're good. All right, because I unlocked. Yeah, no, we're good, we're good, we're good. Okay. No, we're not actually going to do Queen Vanessa's Manor right now. We are going to... Now that we have our grappling hook, we're going to go take care of the next major level over here, I think. Hold on a second. Because this area is unlocked now. Where did I load the wrong... No, I'm on the right save. Yeah, okay. What's in here? Some kind of gelatinous wall that I can cut through with my Dweller Mask. We got another relic stand here. I did not mean to do that. I just wasted 200 bucks. My mistake. Whatever. I guess I put down the relic. I did not mean to waste 200 bucks on that, but too late now. It's a match. You've identified a relic from this strange planet. I just happen to have all the components for it, so it wasn't as much of a risk as much as I've wasted as it might have been otherwise. Oh, already the comic for that place is accessible. Is there no? There's no time rift down here, is there? No. It's just that thing. Right. I thought there was a level down here. My mistake. My mistake. Look at this crazy area. Boy, oh boy, Hat Kid's ship is just not functioning super well right now. Look at all this. The air conditioning in this section of the ship has gone completely haywire. And what could this world be? Chapter 4, Alpine Skyline. Timepiece fell and hit someone. Chapter, Alpine Skyline. Do whatever you'd like. Free roam. We're not going to mess with that right now. That probably won't even be next stream. That'll probably be stream after next. I don't know. We'll see. No, Paddleball Paul. PlayStation and Xbox do not have the DLC. However, at the same time as they announced the DLC... and indeed patches, just general, because this game also just doesn't have patches. It doesn't have the patches that it should. Basically, again, remember that this game was developed by like 6 people living in different parts of the world, just on a Discord that had a Discord server together. And I think they're all more PC-oriented people. So like basically, this game has never been patched on console. There is actually a boss fight in this version of the game that is like does not function as intended. In the console version. However, they announced this game is coming to Nintendo Switch later this year, and I would like to assume that if they're bringing the game to another console, it will be updated to be up to date with the current PC build, which fills me with hope that this version and the Xbox version will get patched. If not, I mean, even though it doesn't have all the features and all the DLC, it's still a good game on console. I have it on PC too, but it just runs a bit better on console. My PC isn't really super built for it. Small machine that takes tokens. Spend 3 tokens for a gift. Heck yeah. Ooh. 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 I like that. Oh, that's a new ice hat. This flare is rare. Do we have more? Heck yeah. I got lots of... I thought we picked up quite a few in that level. Yeah, I'm gonna reroll. Maybe that'd be a good color, but I'm just gonna see what else we got. I just got an ice hat. I just got an ice hat. Santa hat's nice, but I just got another ice hat. Hey! I have no choice but to claim it, but that looks pretty cool. Captain of the Sea. Arr. I be the captain of the sea. It be me. Yeah, this is a good one. I like this color scheme. I have a couple of favorites over on the file where I've unlocked everything, and I'm not sure this is one of them. It's been a while. I don't remember what all my favorites were, but I like this one. It's nice. Oh, I got lots of Rift tokens. I'm gonna stick with the Fox one for now. That's one of the Dweller masks. I think I'll stick with the Fox one for now. One more roll. I got no choice. But I like these. Oh, it wasn't even the one that it showed in the display. But its point is one of the big masks for the dwellers. Check that out. Very spooky. Yeah. This one I actually feel comfortable swapping out from the fox. I like the fox, and maybe I'll still use that one too, but this is just, boy do I like that. Look at how spooky that is. Real spooky. Big spooky. Do-do-dum, bum ba bum, ba ba bum. Alright. Previously, we could not have completed this level, because we did not have the necessary items. And that has now been corrected. Hello, Nova. We'll be wrapping up relatively soon. We're probably just going to do this level and then be done, but that's okay. It might take a few minutes. Not as long as the other level that I was going to start, but... How are we doing on setup here? Yeah, this is fine.
Go on in. We're getting ready to shoot the biggest action movie in bird history.
Oh, boy.
The movie is gonna be the bomb! And I mean bomb in the good way, Picnic.
He said peck! He said peck! Where is this train going? Where did it come from? Where is it right now? It appears to exist on a random floating block of land, next to other random floating blocks of land. It's like something out of Treasure Planet. How curious. In we go. Oh, thank you. I didn't really need them, but I guess I have them. What are we filming today? There's no stops on the schedule. And did we load more explosives than usual today? I hope today's filming doesn't run late.
Please, disregard my twitchy behavior. My body has been to places that have left a permanent mark.
Yikes, I shudder to think of where you would go that would leave you glitching permanently, like a scar. Yeah, significantly reduced cooldown when using hats. Whatever, don't need that. And I don't want this, but I do want this bad boy. So I'll go ahead and snag that. Thank you very much. I don't care if it's pricey. Alrighty, what else can we put on here? This is the most useful one. This basically means that if I dive, if I dive at a wall, I automatically run it instead of just bashing my head into it. It's been off because I needed other things, but now that I have 3 slots, it's pretty much never gonna leave.
Alright, lassie. Listen up. I have some bad news.
Oh no.
That lever you just pulled, it starts the train self-destruct sequence, and that ain't no joke. It'll blow up. I need a movie with some real intense action. So that's what we're gonna do. The train's gonna blow in a few minutes. But you can save us all, lassie. Get to the switch at the front of the train to turn it off.
Oh dear.
And you better make it in time, alright? I don't care about the owls or yourself, but you don't dare blow up me train for real. It's my baby.
How can this not be your favorite
The
character?
cameras are gonna be rolling, lassie. You hurry now. Go over and out.
Oh dear.
2 minutes and 0 seconds until self-destruct. Oh,
Run, kid! Okay, come on. Absolutely no need for that silliness. There's a trophy for doing this without picking up any of the time bonuses, which I'm just not going to attempt right now since we're kind of in the middle of, you know, the stream or whatever. There's a bomb on this train? Oh dear. Oh my. Well, that's not very cricket. Train's gonna blow up in a minute. Seems like it's already blowing up quite a bit to me. Okay, I didn't forget about you.
And 20 seconds until self-destruct. Better hurry.
Oh dear. My mistake. Okay, I hit the button. I really did hit the button. That's okay, I guess. That's fine. What are these? A glitch. Bam! There we go. Okay, that's fine too. Supposed to jump over. Oh, I see. I thought maybe I was supposed to wait for it to go away. I see now that I was supposed to, and I was supposed to wait for that to come back up. I thought there was a hook. Man, I'm really not doing so well on this one, boys and girls. Stop that. That's a lot of... That's a lot of coverage on just one shot. That's not one shot. That's a lot of coverage on one scene, I should say. You got 6 cameras pointing at the same actress from approximately 2 angles in one location. You're not a very good director, Mr. Director.
Look at all this raw footage we got. Look at how you're running for dear life. Oh, what? We did it in the name of cinematography and to beat that no-good DJ Grooves. I bet he won't be able to make half the movie we just made. All right, here, take one of these thingamajigs you like. You deserve it.
I love that. Whatever. You can have it, I guess. I don't know what these things are, but you seem to get a kick out of them, you wee lass. Camille says true method acting. It'd be method acting if we chose to do that. When the director puts you through it, it's called bad directing and also violating union rules. I love this. Conductor as savvy, trained conductor. Some girl as reckless detonator. It's her fault. And he barely takes the lead. If you'll recall, we replayed Mr. Grooves' level multiple times to see all of his prompts. So he is currently winning in the rankings. No, Paddleball Paul, you did not miss the parade level. We did the first of DJ Grooves' levels last time, and we replayed it like twice on stream to see everything. So it has way more points than it probably should, as you can see. Almost maxed out. Excuse me, I keep burping. I apologize. So what this is probably going to turn into is we'll have to have a discussion next time about whether or not we want to just let the chips fall where they will, or if we want to take some time grinding out one or the other winner. It wouldn't be too hard. I can do a lot better on Train Rush than I just did. I can get a lot more points on that. Or I could just do poorly on this next stage, which is amazing. Yes, Paddleball Paul, I actually talked several times about how great the parade music was and considered including it in my stream startups, but I held off because I wanted people to experience it dynamically during the actual A Hat in Time stream. But I think we'll be wrapping up for now, unfortunately. Even though we didn't get a ton done today, we got a little bit more than halfway through Subcon Forest, and we did just that one level there, so it wasn't the most productive stream of all time. Unfortunately, we already started an hour later than I wanted to, and we've gone 3 hours, which is what I was originally planning on, which means I'm wrapping up an hour later than I originally planned on wrapping up, so we do actually need to quit here, I'm afraid. But Day 13. Every time I'm around the conductor, I hear him mumbling about his movie. I think he's trying to figure out some big, huge, impressive, exciting, amazing thing to do with his train. I mean, okay, maybe his movie could use more action or something. Like, I actually have no idea what he could do. Being a movie director must be hard. Yes. Yes, it is. Excuse me. I'm yawning. Do I still have more of these? No, I'm out. Okay, we're good. What hats do we have? So we got a couple alternatives. We have the original ice cap and an alternative. We have the original sprint cap and an alternative. The original brewing hat and the alternative. And one alternative dweller's cap. Oh no, we have crud. We never equipped that. We have tier 2 kids hat with a bow on it. I'm such a fool. I'll have to enjoy this next time, I suppose. Is that a trophy system from Black Ops 4? No, it's just a game. What shape is that? It's a something hedron, but I don't know how many sides it has, and I'm not going to stop and count right now. 25 to access that section. Yeah, I remember you do not need to clear all of the worlds to access the final chapter, which is up there where that 25 indicator is. I think we can easily hit 25 just by doing everything in the 3 worlds we've already unlocked. Like, easily. We don't have to do everything, I don't think. You pick up a couple of the time rifts from there and around the ship. You do most of the missions there, and I think you can unlock the final location without ever even going to Alpine Skyline. But never fear, we will do almost everything. I don't know if we'll necessarily be 100%ing the game. I'm not worried about like finding all of the relics and stuff like that, and I'm not necessarily going to get, especially because there are a couple of, how many missions did I even do on Mafia Town? I don't even remember. Let's find out. So there will probably be some new ones now. Oh. So, mysterious mission. It's not named yet. Chapter, Mafia Town, population 379. Mission, win legitimate... Precipitation, no chance. So, something there that I can't talk about yet. And we will do that level, because that level's fun. I think there might be one more mission there that gets added later that I don't care about and we probably won't play. But, we will probably be doing all of the, I mean, we'll do all of the main story content. Maybe we will skip a couple of, like, the time rifts, but I don't know. I'm not committing to 100%ing this game, but we're gonna probably do most of it, so look forward to that. Or don't, you know, that's your prerogative, isn't it? I don't know when we'll be doing this next. Hopefully next week. Hopefully, at this point, we will be back to streaming somewhat regularly. If we could make it once a week or once every other week thing, that would be ideal. But no idea how that'll go. Video City 1 says this was an awesome stream. I hope you all have an awesome day tomorrow. My day won't be super duper awesome because I will be very busy. In fact, I'm going to be busy for the following 4 days. Because you see, at my college, it is the time for film students to be producing their final films, and I have to be on I have to be on most of those sets as part of my requirements as a graduating student. I have to go and participate on other people's sets, not just because it's a nice thing to do and, you know, you want to help people, but because, hey, movies take a crap ton of people to make, so you kind of have to be involved. It's part of your grade too, just to go and help people. So I have to go and be on a set, and it's going to be tomorrow and Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and it's going to be 12 hours every day. Now, the bright side is that, you know, these sets are fun. It's a lot of work, but, you know, it's fun to do. And you get to hang out with people. It's, I don't know. I mean, it's hard work, but hopefully, you know, you're doing work that you like doing, right? And, for the most part, I'm going to be doing a relatively easy job. I'm going to be doing, I'm mostly going to be working on behind-the-scenes stuff, and then I'm kind of a backup sound guy. Basically, there's a, the lead sound person for this set is not going to be available. I don't even know which day they're not going to be available on. There's some day they're not going to be able to come, and I'm going to kind of step in as lead sound operator, lead sound technician, because I mostly know how to do that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I'm going to be doing behind-the-scenes videography and photography. So I get to mostly just run around and get in people's way and go, and I'm just getting footage. They're like, get out of the way! And I'm like, no, man, this is important. I have to get footage of this. That's a joke for any of my classmates who aren't listening in. I'm just joking around. But anyway, yeah, so it's actually going to be a extremely busy couple of days for me. I say that pretty much every other weekend this entire semester is like that. I've already done, well, I would have done 2 of these sets so far, but one of these 4-day sets, all of them are 4 days and 12 hours each day. One of these sets I would have been on all 4 days, but I was only able to be there 1 day because it was the weekend that Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and Joey and I had to shoot. Like, Joey had already asked for the Friday off of work. We had already scheduled stuff out. Like, it was already planned ahead of time, so before shooting schedule stuff got handed down, that was already prepped, so that was what we did. But not last weekend, not this most recent weekend, but weekend before last. I was on a set every day for 12 hours a day, 4 days in a row. That's show business. Video City 1, are we gonna get to see it? Do you mean somebody else's movie that I'm not making, that I'm just working on? Not my call, buddy. If you're referring to More Hat in Time, yes, you will get to see More Hat in Time sometime, hopefully next week. I know that's not what you're referring to. You're probably referring to this project that I have to go work on. But no, not my call, not my project. Oh, boy. But yeah, that's it for today, I suppose. Nothing else to do. Next time around, we will, I think, prioritize wrapping up Battle of the Birds, because at this point we have everything we need to finish it, and we'll probably... I don't want to say bidding war, because that's probably not fair, but we could probably do a... oh, no, Video City 1, not mine. That's what I was saying, is that I am required to be on other people's sets as well. Everybody who is in... I mean, it's generally just if you're in the film department, you are expected to, you know, offer your time when you can to help people on their projects. But very specifically with, since I am in the graduating class, I am part of the general final film production class. I'm not actually producing my own final film. I am fulfilling a number of other roles, and I'm fulfilling a number of major roles on other people's projects to fulfill my obligations, as opposed to producing my own film from scratch. I had written a script for a film, and I liked it. I liked the script, but some issues with the production came up, and scheduling. It's a really long story. I'm not going to bore you guys with it. It would take me like 30 minutes to even begin to explain the 2-year history of this nonsense. But essentially, I am instead editing a couple of other people's projects. I'm helping out on scripts. I'm obviously fulfilling my obligations as part of that class to be on. I have to work, I want to say, I have to work. I want to say I have to work like 16 full days or something like that. I don't remember. I have it all mapped out. I know whose productions I'm going to be on and for how many days, and it's all sorted out, but I forget off the top of my head how many days it is that I have to work. But yeah, that's a, that's a situation that I have to deal with. Anyway, point being, yeah, that basically I'm not producing my own final film this semester. I am just working on a bunch of other people's final films so that I can, in addition to doing a ton of work for other people, because it's still going to be a very involved semester for me in terms of schoolwork, I am hoping that at minimum I am now working, and I am very comfortable with editing and I'm very comfortable with writing. It's producing that I'm not quite as comfortable with. I'm hoping that while I still have a really big workload, I will hopefully be a little bit less stressed, which will afford me more energy to do more stuff with YouTube, since I really didn't get much done with that last year, and also to pursue more of my own writing, write some more scripts, just kind of for, I don't want to say for myself, more scripts that I could hypothetically sell or put on a resume or whatever else. Kind of focus on things that will hopefully help me once I'm trying to look for a job at whatever point that happens. Video City 1, you know what you should do? Film the Roxas rewrite. You don't understand how little you can actually get shot in 4 days, in 12-hour days, do you? These movies are all like maybe 10 to 20 minutes. And it takes 4 days and 12 hours each day. My Roxas rewrite is like, I don't know, 60 pages, and it's not done. No, thank you. It is not feature film length, but not something that is anywhere within a student production's capabilities, regardless of copyright. Anyway, but yeah, we are all done. That's it for the evening, and we will be back next time. We'll probably wrap up the Battle of Birds. We'll put it to a vote on who we want to win. I will either put that up on Twitter, or I'll just ask like during the stream. I don't know. I'll figure out how I'm going to deal with that later. But I will leave it to the audience to decide who is going to win the Battle of the Birds, and then I will put in the necessary legwork to ensure their victory. You guys have a good evening. I will find some music somewhere on here. There we go. And, we'll play ourselves out. Since we talked a lot about Thousand Year Door today, why not listen to some more Thousand Year Door music? Everybody have a good evening. Thanks for coming out.